Hey, there we are. Sorry for the slight delay, everyone. We had some audio problems to sort out.
That intro music is hypnotizing. I feel like I'm on a spaceship when I hear that.
Is that the first time you've seen it?
Nah, but it's the first time I heard it with headphones on, and I felt like I was on a Universal Studios ride, like Back to the Future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I made that, and it's going to be a full-fledged song later on. So, but it's the official intro for the POD Council.
Yeah, we're going to Andreas singing the hook on that soon.
Hell yeah.
Welcome everyone in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. A lot of things happened since we were last on, I think. And we've got a new guest as well. For those of you who don't know him yet, this is Jose, iScalePOD on YouTube. If you haven't checked out his channel yet, I highly recommend it. There's a saying in England, in the UK, that goes, someone can talk for England, and Jose, that definitely applies. Jose can talk for England, meaning you can very enthusiastically talk about print on demand for hours, which was very evident in our live stream, in our podcast recently. But for those that don't know you, do you want to give like a quick summary of your background, what you do?
Yeah, so I do merch by Amazon. I started in 2017 and, figured it out from there. And since then, I make a living off of it. I make a living strictly mostly off Amazon. I got an Etsy poster store, but besides that, I'm all Amazon all day. I just love the ease of it. And it changed my life in a very big way. Very big way. Like if it wasn't for print on demand, I don't know where I'd be today. Right. So I make a living off of it. I moved to Colombia. I could be a digital nomad sometimes. So my passion from it comes from the fact that I almost, I was in a very bad position in life when I saw merch by Amazon, and it just completely transformed the direction of my life. And I think that's why I started the YouTube, because there's a lot of people that need help that, I want to see other people who need it get it. You know what I mean? That's like my main motivation. But yeah, I love print on demand. I'm the biggest nerd you'll ever meet, ever. Like people email me, I answer everything. I love talking about print on demand. It's I'm a junkie, 100%. So yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few calls with Jose, like behind the scenes, and I can attest to that. We've been going on for like 3 hours at a time before in the middle of the night, just chatting. Yeah. It's just crazy. You're getting some love in the chat as well. I love Jose.
Yeah, Jose. What's up, Ryan? I love it. This is dope. I'll be here every day now.
And we might have Jay joining us later as well. I'll just show the background. There he is. Got a new little background image here of the council. Might need to expand it a bit. But yeah, Jay might be joining us later. Thank you for finding Jose.
You saying I'm missing in action?
It's like a rare Pokemon.
You caught a shiny.
I have been found. No longer a UFO.
But yeah, today we're going to talk about, we'll probably start off talking about Nano Banana, since it's been a couple of weeks now, 3 weeks since that's come out, kind of give our impressions so far. Since the sort of first excitements died off, be interesting to see what everyone thinks, and the updates on Amazon merch, which there has been quite a few, and
I still don't have any of the products in my dashboard.
None of them.
I'm selling them. I'm selling them all, but I don't have them to do it.
So you've had some auto-uploaded and some of them are sold?
Yeah, I didn't even know till I was checking my sales. And I said, whoa, what is this shirt? And it was a Comfort Color shirt. And then it's like, okay, but I don't have them. You know what I mean? Like, they don't trust me to do it on my own. But I got a theory about that I'll get into later.
Well, that's interesting to hear because you're the highest tier here. You're tier
120K.
120, right? And some people probably guess, does it have to do with my tier?
Wait, are you saying that you didn't have or that you still don't have access to upload Comfort Colors, polos,
exactly. Any of them? None of them. But I'm selling them. I mean, I've only sold Comfort Colors.
Yeah,
I didn't even know. Yeah, so but none on my dashboard. 0.
Okay, because I got that like, what was it, like a month ago now?
Yeah,
and I'm only tier 4,000 though.
Yeah, and I keep hearing about that. You know what I mean? And everybody, I think they forgot about my account because I think they forgot. I think my account has been forgotten. They didn't tear me down. They're not giving me products. I feel like I'm lost on the floor somewhere. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on because I used to be the first to get these things, right? Every time they have a new product, I always had the day one. And now they're like, no, not you anymore. So I think Amazon's changing a little bit. They're changing a lot.
Yeah, I get that feeling too. Like it's changing majorly in a lot of things, and I do feel that is the best, like long term, is the slowest thing to get to like fix to like. I think Etsy is the best way to like get a start about this, but the long term play is like is where Amazon shines or shines anything, honestly.
Well, I actually got some cool information. I don't know if anybody read this. I think 2 days ago, I seen an article. Now check this out, right? This at least will let us know a few things for the future. So Amazon, this is going to affect Etsy too, but basically Amazon has a few ways they make money, right? You got the e-commerce. So e-commerce on Amazon is about $500 billion with a B revenue a year. But the thing is, they only make about 6% profit on that, right? So then you got Amazon AWS, which is the tech company. Now that's their real bread and butter. They only make 30 billion a year on it, but it's mostly profit because it's digital, right? So they actually make way more money in profit off the tech company than they do off e-commerce. So e-commerce is actually not their biggest. It's the biggest revenue, but their lowest, I think 5 to 6% profit, which means they're not making the most on e-commerce. And just this year, I seen this article 2 days ago. Just this year, there is a new one of their sources of income is about to do $60 billion this year and surpass their profits of all other things that they get. And just think about that. This is the biggest company in the world up there with Apple and Microsoft, and they fight for that #1 spot in the world. So think about how much money we're talking about. And they now, this Amazon company that is a tech giant, has a new leader in what gets them the most profit. Do you want to guess what that is?
I have no idea. Do you, Philip?
It's not ads, is it?
Ads.
Is it ads?
Their #1 bread and butter, the biggest company on the planet, its #1 source of income is when you pay for ads.
Oh.
There's no cost to it, is there?
Look it up. This is just as brand new. $60 billion is what they already made 15 billion in Q1. And this is going to be Amazon's focus from now on. And this answers the question, by the way, will we ever be replaced by AI? Not at all. Because AI don't pay for ads. So there's the answer to that. Their #1 bread and butter is us now.
No better business than selling pixels on a screen. That's literally what it is, right?
There's no cost. There's zero cost for putting your stuff on first page. This is a pure profit company. I looked up Etsy too. Etsy is at 30% of Etsy's revenue comes from ads.
But when it comes to Etsy though, it's a major change because like last year, like since my main bread and butter and the thing that changed my life was Etsy, so I'm a big preacher for Etsy. But like last year, they implemented a change at like late last year, and ever since then, like the ads prices has just gone up. Like pre August 2024, I generally pay like $0.48 per click, and generally had about like a 3 to 4.5 in ROAS for every single listing. As a total ROAS, then, if we think about the total like organic sales and the ad sales, because generally on Etsy you get 50% sales from ads, 50% sales of organic, dependent on how much you push it and how much rank it gets. Now, after that August, it just went on from like one day to the next, and it went from like 0.48 in like in cost per click in CPC to like 0.93. And then I was like, okay, this might be a fluke. So September might just be August and September might just be a fluke. But then it just kept going down. Did more tests and stuff like that too. And I just felt that, okay, ads on Etsy at the moment is just not a good way to go about Etsy. So yeah, I'm focusing purely on organic with a 35% net margin instead. And it's working out great. You make less revenue, but a lot more per sale. And I'm generally making a 35% net margin on that instead.
You preach it to the choir, because I'm the low price king. This is how I do everything, because my whole thing is always less anxiety And while everybody's fighting, I don't fight. I throw my stuff at the lowest price and then see how it gains momentum. Always. That's it for t-shirts, at least. And like, I don't have it in me anymore. I remember the anxiety of chasing trends when you're making sales and people are copying your designs. And I used to do that. I used to be very good at this stuff, but I realized how much it was hurting me physically. Like, I would literally be shaking while I'm doing stuff. Like, every second that I'm late, they're going to make more money off copying my design. So I'm reporting to Amazon. I was crazy like that. And then when I started saying, you know what, when I saw what happened to my account, when I just left everything down and everything just started selling more. And I said, you know what, this is a way more relaxed way of doing things. You don't make money right away. You make money as time goes. But it just took away all that pressure, all that, you know, what everyone deals with every day when it comes to what do I design, what do I do with ads. It just took away all of that, because that's works for you. And I would have made more money if I would have played that game. But by sitting there and laying back and doing things the way, just low price everything, because when you put a low price, you're taking off all resistance, right? If they're not going to buy it at $13.38, they're not going to buy it at $20. You know, so and I learn a lot more because I'm able to upload all kinds of things. I upload anything from anywhere. I tell everybody all the time, like, I upload anything I could get my hands on, put it at $13.38, and then while everyone's saying don't do that, it's just starting to sell and gain momentum. And I do this with public domain images and everything, and this has just been working for me.
I do the exact same thing, but my KPI here, if like this works like both on Etsy and on Amazon. Like, you list it at a price on Etsy, you gain $2 to $4 margin because you need some buffer in case of like stuff happening. Otherwise, you always go into the red, and that's not good. But on Amazon, I always list it at 13.38. On Amazon, if it hits 10 sales, I just bump it up to profit pricing, which is generally for me like $7 royalties. But what's your main KPI to push it to like profit pricing?
Me, I look, and it's gonna sound crazy, but I look for a lot of reviews first. Like, I'll keep it low. I think, especially since I've done a couple interviews, 50 reviews seems to be that number that when people see 50, they automatically trust it. So I used to go up to 100. That's what I do, yeah. So I used to go to 100 and then put it up, because what the concept behind it is that when I'm at 100 reviews, I no longer need ads to keep that price high. Right. So somebody, like, it just doesn't stop selling as easy, because there are people that I've talked to personally. But before I even spoke to them, I knew this. There are people who just trust reviews. That's it. So you can have a million new designs. It doesn't matter who's competing with me. If I got 100 reviews and they don't, I know I'm always eligible for that sale. And that's how I work.
What a game you're playing. That has to be such a long game.
It's super patient,
like,
right?
Literally a year. Like, if I start selling something today, it might take a year before I make money off of it.
So you're basically waiting until you hit about 500 to 1,000 sales for a listing, right? Somewhere around there.
I never even count the sales, but probably somewhere. I guess, you know, I just look at the review count.
Because the review count on Amazon is just so hard. Like, I have done like 20,000 sales or something like that now, I think. Let me double check. 16,771 sales on Amazon now. But the reviews I have are like 400 and like just like they don't like 477 reviews. It's just a so low review rating for all of the sales that you do. So I'm just thinking, like, for a specific listing, 150 to 100 reviews. That's just such a patient, long game. My goodness.
Well, I saw it work. That's the difference. It's like most people, they're always, when they try the strategy, like, okay, when can I put the price up? When can I put the price up? I don't think about it ever. I don't put the price up. I want 100 reviews. I put the price up when that thing's BSR is at 80,000, 50,000. Then I'll put the price up. Because I don't want to compete. I don't want to fight people. I just want to let the BSR do its thing. So when I get that low BSR, high reviews, that thing's staying right there no matter what price I put.
And then you don't use any ads, right, in that case?
No. Okay. Now, using ads, see, this is where Philip is doing crazy things. So, like, my strategy has been not really a strategy. It's just been a lazy way to work that works for me. Philip actually is the king of this now. He's done stuff that I'm like, whoa. Like putting ads on 1338 shirts, and it works.
Yep.
Because I'm testing that out myself now with some specific ones, just to see how it fares. I mean, like, I'm still like making a lot of like money, so I can play around and see how it works. And one thing that I'm trying to mitigate is, like, I got like one shirt that I got, like, it's selling a lot, but it's got a 1-star review. and I want to push it with ads plus having it keeping it with your strategy at having it at $0 royalties, just to build up reviews. Because the main thing that I got from like watching your content is that the reviews is basically the KPI for you. But I had no idea that you wanted 50 reviews. It's just an insane.
Well, it's not always either, right? I'm not. It's not a hard rule, because
Okay.
I will look into the competition. If I see competition and I look at everyone's prices is up, I'm like, you know what? I could bump it up now, because everyone's at $19.99. So I'm gonna throw $16.99 on this and just start making money now. It depends on how much time I have to look into it, right? Like, I know there's people that will see stuff with $13.30 and be like, yo, why is someone leave it? Because we forget about it. I've had designs that I've forgotten about. Like, I can't believe this thing got 200 reviews and I haven't put the price up yet. You know, so when you see stuff like that, it's people who have these big catalogs that it's hard to, you know, to keep track of. This is why a developer I'm talking about now, I want to put an AI agent in the dashboard that can start keeping track of everything for us and tell you when to put the price up, tell you, you know, the performance of everything. It's about time we get an AI agent right on our dashboards to do this for us.
And one thing that I'm super curious about. Sorry by the way, for hogging so many questions, because I'm just really curious about this. But like, do you have Productor installed on your merch account?
Yeah, but I hate it now. Like, Productors, I want to love it and I can't.
But do you see how many live designs that you have with sales? Do you see the percentage of that? Like, do you know what that percentage is?
Yeah, my percentage is only like 15 at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not like I have a high percentage. You know, this is what I do. I upload all day, every day, and then whatever sells.
Yeah,
You know
this reminds me a lot of Ryan Ho, because that's his strategy to like do as much as you can with both, like put up as much as you can in small niches and so forth.
Yeah, brother, I'm selling 3 T-shirts right now that are sardine cans on a shirt that I got from Creative Fabrica. You see what I'm saying? Who else is gonna put sardines on a T-shirt? I do everything they don't do. And I try to tell people this, like, every time everyone's chasing one thing, I go the other way, and it works so beautiful.
So you're like sardines, anchovies, because I saw that video where you did like anchovies, right?
Yeah. All of a sudden, and the new ones sell constantly, right? I put an animal from a ship on a T-shirt. No one thinks to do this, right? I put letters on a shirt. I put numbers on a shirt. And it's
you got the lettuce, you got anchovies, you got sardines. Hell yeah!
Because nobody's teaching people to upload numbers. Nobody's teaching people to upload letters. I got to do the 50 states. Nobody's teaching these things. I just have these like, well, people want, somebody's going to want this. Who wouldn't want a letter? There's a lot of reasons to buy a letter. There's a lot of reasons to buy a number. Throw them up there, different patterns inside of it. You could do this all day, every day. Christmas, change it for Halloween. And so all the places where people don't look, that's where I love to live. All the places, all the things people don't do. You know, like I say this, you know, respectfully, but I've heard advice for the past 8 years telling people not to do the things that make me the most money.
If I had to describe you in a nutshell, it's like you do the opposite of everyone else. Like
when they go right, I go left.
You price everything as low as possible. You've never used ads in your life. You've not spent a single dollar on ads, and you've made over $500,000 in royalties on Amazon merch.
Yeah, it's getting close to 600,000 now.
Which is, and nobody waits for 50 reviews or 100 reviews until.
Yeah, I've never.
Well, no, people do. No, plenty of people do this. This is an Amazon mentality, right? This is what a lot of people. I was on Amazon. No, before merch, right? If you come from the normal Amazon, this is the game. The game is you win that. There's a thing called a buy box on Amazon, and you win that buy box by having the lowest price. Whoever has the lowest price wins the buy box. So when you order a product on Amazon, there's about 20 sellers on that product. You don't know who you're getting it from, but only one of those sellers, when you press the buy now button, one person gets that product, gets that sale. And that's the school that I'm from. I knew Amazon before merch existed, right? And that's why the game that I play is an Amazon game. A lot of people don't really understand what Amazon is as a platform. So they approach merch by Amazon like it's a t-shirt contest, right? Like, you know, I should sell the most because my designs were, you know, drawn and not AI, but that's never been what sells. What sells is what the customers want and how cheap they want it or whatever it is that other people don't have. So the game that's on Amazon is everybody's looking at that top product. They make their own version of it, right? Everything that's done in merch now, that whole mentality was designed from Amazon as a company when they added that BSR. Amazon added the BSR to make everything transparent, right? Because Before, you couldn't hide your sales in real life. There's, Walmart, you go outside the parking lot, you could tell how many people are buying from them. So Amazon brought that to the digital space by using the BSR, and this is why I catapulted to the #1 store. And the format has always been, king of the hill. As kids, king of the hill, they knock the kid off the top of the hill, they become the king. Now everyone comes after you. And that's okay, because it's part of the game. You the king. You got the #1 t-shirt on that front page. Now everybody comes for your crown. And that's always been the game on Amazon, right? So the game has always been, how can I get to that #1 spot? And I'm going to take an idea from this guy, an idea from this guy, put it together, and boom, and you do what you can that way. And that mentality has always been how the sellers on regular Amazon have gotten to that #1 spot. It's more of a lion's game, a wolf's game. And once I brought that mentality to Amazon, cheapest price, like where I put my whole life, people look for the cheapest price on a t-shirt. I know there's people who want higher prices. I've never had that in my environment. So I didn't know how to, charge $22 for a t-shirt, because where I've lived, no one's paying that. So it was, between that and Amazon, I came in here and I didn't know people wanted the price high and put ads on a t-shirt. I'm like, why do this if I could just put the price down and make a sale that way? I've been doing it since before Amazon, before merch existed. So, the same mentality. And I think when you see there's a lot of people on merch who also sell on Amazon. I know there's people that got whole empires. Philip, I spoke to a dude on your Discord server, Wonderful World, something like that. I don't know if you met him, a Wonderful World of Stuff.
Yeah, I remember.
That guy has an empire. He'll tell you all about it.
Yeah. No, I remember talking to him. He's like, his whole family does it, right? And they've got
everyone has a merch account, an Etsy account. He has a print on demand empire, right?
Yeah.
And you think these guys are sitting there? No, they're doing the same strategy on everything. Get that sale, dominate. And there's a lot of people with that mentality. So when you see these 1338 shirts on the front page that look like someone forgot about, there's people like me, way better than me, like 20 million times better. They're doing $1 million empires with merch by Amazon, right? This is Disney selling on here. Star Wars, this is big business. This is the NFL of e-commerce. It's not a neighborhood t-shirt contest, right? You're not getting praised because you drew it instead of, using AI. No one cares. This is big business. This has been a multi-billion-dollar industry since before merch by Amazon. And I think enough people, when they come into merch by Amazon, they treat it like it's supposed to be based on other things other than get that sale by any means necessary. And you follow Amazon's rules, right? Because if you don't like Amazon's rules, it's the wrong place to be selling, right? Because Amazon puts your PNG file available for the world the minute you upload it, and if you're not okay with that, don't upload it. Me, I don't care. I just did a video where I showed everything that I sold. I'm showing the world, Here you go, because I'm not scared of anybody. You're not taking my sales. I promise you that.
It's another example of Jose doing the opposite of everyone else. He just did two half-an-hour videos sharing all of his sales.
All the anchovies and the sardines.
So, and I'm gonna do it every week just because it's content. Because why not? And it gives people insight. And I also want to show people that in this game, there's a way. This is not about how awesome your T-shirt is. It's not. It's about how can you get to that sale.
Yeah, some of them were just literally like bog standard, basic font, small word on the chest, and that's it, right? Like,
the one you saw, stop looking at me. Basic font says stop looking at me on the shirt.
Yeah. Could be someone like a kid made it in paint, but it's selling.
Exactly. So while everyone's focused on these other things, because whatever reason, I know the platform I'm on. And if you understand the platform that you're on, it helps with how to sell. Amazon wants sales.
Okay.
Tom said this sounds like the advanced version of the Tamas method.
I keep hearing about it. Yeah. No, you told me about it a little bit, but I don't know much other than that.
I mean, the whole idea there was like start pricing at like $14.99 or $13.99 and test your listing with ads. If it converts well, then you can push the ads and increase the price. This is obviously going even lower, right? And waiting even longer before you price up. Like,
what I'm just hearing overall, that's so unique is because again, this is really similar to what I do. It's just what I do, but maxed out. So I wait 10 to 10 sales, then I put because basically I list stuff at 1338. I use a lottery campaign for like a really simple lottery campaign just to flesh out potential sellers. And then once something hits, like once something sells, I put that in all of those listings that has sold at least one time into an automatic campaign with like a 15 to 20%, 0.15 to 0.20 cent, or sorry, $0.20 bid for like automatic and all of those like things. For both the complements, not the complements, substitutes, and the all those different things. Super simple campaign where you just shove everything in there. If it's sold at least one time, and then if it sells 10 times, I do ads, but focus one specific automatic ad on a specific ASIN, and that's at the point that I actually put it up on. Like to profit pricing. But what you do is you wait for basically the KPI to hit like somewhere around like 50. Basically, you want so many reviews that it's undeniable. Because if you see one, this has always been the case with any type of product, ever since Amazon themselves invented the reviews things on sites. Because if you see one listing here, one identical listing here with the exact same price, if one has more reviews and better reviews than the other ones, this one will always win because it increases the perceived likelihood of achievement of them actually like getting what they want. So it makes sense. It's just that the secret sauce to what you're doing, Jose, that no one really does, is the patience.
Yeah, that's the one reason that I don't think anybody can do. Not many people can do what I do, because even every single person who does this is, when do I put the price up? And if that's when you're looking and waiting for that, it kills the whole strategy. Because the whole strategy depends on getting those listings to be there forever. And people still have the mentality of, I want to get paid now, which is fine, which is normal. But I never had that mentality until it's Thanksgiving. Now that's different. Once Black Friday hits, strategy's over. Bye. Gold prices are going up. I'm not stupid, right?
Yeah.
So that's when everything goes up, unless it's a brand new listing. I'll then keep it at 1338. So the next year, right? So if I end up uploading something during Black Friday, Christmas, I'm gonna keep that at 1338 because I know that's gonna start the momentum, and I think about the next year for that one.
Yeah, and you price your other products high as well, don't you? It's not like every single product gives
my income comes from the V-necks, tank tops, so I get money hoodies, all those are regular price.
Yeah.
So that brings a lot of sales as well.
Let's talk a little bit about the recent updates then, because I want to know for people in the chat as well what the situation is. So we've had, since the last call, if I just look down at my dashboard, we've had a survey come out, so another feedback survey. We've had comfort colors, performance polos, and performance quarter zip tops launched. Very strange choices of products in my opinion, except the comfort colors. I get that. And then we had white colors available for hoodies and sweatshirts, which is also a bit of a strange choice. But I'm curious. Polos are really selling well. Oh, wow. Did you upload those? Do you have access to them? Like, did you upload a bunch, Tom? Or is it auto uploads? Because I don't have access to them yet, so I can't really test them. I only have access to the comfort colors, nothing else. No coffee mugs, no zippers. Let us know in the chat if you have access to all the products, just comfort. I'd be curious to hear if anyone's got access to coffee mugs. I've not heard of anyone yet.
No, I'm waiting for those because I really want to upload specifically for the mugs.
Yeah, we're also going to do shop reviews later. So if you want your store reviewed, you can drop it in this link. Polos. Yeah, polos were recently added and are being rolled out. Some people have access, some people don't. Expanded all niches manually, selling around 5K designs. Okay. I'm guessing you did the same for comfort colors, polos, and zippers, right? If you've got access to all of them. Out of those three, which one's selling best for you?
Tom should come on the show.
Yeah, you should jump on.
Yeah.
The link's in the WhatsApp. No, well, I'll send you the link. Don't have to stay for long either. I can't be bothered. No one has to stay on these for long.
Does anyone know, or Jose and Philip, do you know a way to just bulk add your products to these new products, like the designs that you already have? You do?
I know multiple.
Okay, I'd love to know that because I'd have no idea.
Well, It's hard to explain on a live stream without showing, but the
Okay.
methods that I know are, number one, flying upload, right?
Okay.
Where if you don't use it, do you? You use Merge Titans.
Yeah, I use all Curtis stuff.
Yeah, you can't do it with Merge Titans, as far as I'm aware. Like, you can't go into old listings and enable more products. You can do that with flying. Bless
Yeah.
you. You can do that with flying. So you can just get your old listings. You essentially just configure the comfort colors, leave everything else off, or whatever you want to add, and then it opens up the old listing, adds the new one. Configures the price that you want, the colors, etc.
Like a Chromium bot thing, right?
Yes, but you can also do it with, if you're not that bothered about the control of like everything, like pricing, colors as much, you can also do it with Merge Flow now, which is a way better version of Productor. Basically, it like lets you filter through a catalog way more quickly, has a bunch of really cool filters, and you can also add products to your old listings with it, which is pretty cool. It's quite fast as well.
Which would you say is the most easiest to use? Because it sounds like flying upload is the easiest, right?
No, flying has more customization. Like, you have a lot more control over the different variables, but I wouldn't say it's easier. Like, it takes you a while to get the grip of how to use it. Whereas Merge Flow is kind of like Productor with the function of adding new products.
Okay.
So I would look into that. And you're below tier 10,000, where Merge Flow is free.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll check that out and see what I can do with it.
I can show you after the call. I'll send you a link and quick tutorial.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So flying, Tom was saying all 3 new products. Polo selling the best, then the comfort colors, then quarter zip. Wow, I wouldn't have thought polo shirts would do well. Don't they have this design small as well? It's like a pocket.
Yeah.
Pocket style, I think.
You want to go golfing, polo. You want to go play tennis, polo. There's a lot of events where polo is better than a t-shirt, and you still want to get some, cool designs on it. Makes sense to me.
I don't think I've ever seen a polo shirt here with like a graphic design on it.
Yeah, well, in the U.S. they do use them a lot, but you usually see it like a lot of people who go to specific things like golfing, right? You can't wear some things where they don't want to wear a t-shirt, but it's still casual. That's really where I see that a lot. Put a little thing on it. Yeah. So maybe it's a new wave, new trend.
Tom's gonna go in a few minutes. So he's not jumping on.
Okay.
But next time, maybe that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Nice to have you on. Then another thing. Has anyone bothered uploading white colors to sweatshirts? I don't think that's that important, is it? I mean, I can't see that many people buying white.
I do. Like, one thing that I tried this year was take my designs and just add them again to merch, but like only for whiter or like lighter colors.
Yeah,
and that definitely works. But yeah, so that's what I do at the moment, at least for every single listing. So
I mean, if you're uploading new designs, I would enable the white color. I just think the ROI of going into old listings and enabling white on sweaters and hoodies, I don't know. Don't know if it's really there.
That's true.
I mean, if it can be automated, I'd do it. Like, if I could press a button and it all happens,
that would be good.
Yeah.
The merch flow, the tutorial is not live yet. I've recorded a tutorial for this one, what I was talking about, but it's not live yet. It'll probably come next week. I'm not sure when it's in the schedule. But I have an old tutorial of merge flow. It's not that old. It's a few weeks ago, where you can kind of see an overview, how to filter, how to bulk change prices, stuff like that. It just doesn't show the adding products. Oh, but I'll be sending out an email this week that kind of explains the steps in a bit more detail.
I used it to put a bunch of old stuff that wasn't selling prices down in one swoop. So it works really well for that, for sure.
Did you notice that make a difference?
Yeah, a bunch of stuff starts selling. Because you forget, you can't keep track. I knew it would happen, right? I was just waiting for a tool that could do it. Because I'm like, wow, I forgot I remember that used to be one of my top sellers, and I completely forgot about it. And I'm like, oh, I completely forgot, and it sold, and it's a 1338. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I love seeing old listings that way because there's no way to keep track. So merch flow, you just boom, give me all the stuff that hasn't sold in this time frame. 1338 everything.
It even has some new filters now where you can see listings that are 50% less this year than last year in terms of sales. So you can
momentum,
catch the drop off, and then you can again react by dropping the price.
Right back down.
It's really, really, really cool, that app. And I've noticed the same. Like if you go into old listings, the ones that haven't sold or that used to sell, and you just drop the price, you'll see a lot of like new things in your daily sales that you had completely forgotten about. Anyway, let's see.
One thing that I would love to just mention to everybody, this is a bit of like it's on topic on print on demand, but I just love to say that like would just love to mention that like on Etsy at the moment, this has been the case for Amazon too, but it's a bit more vague on Etsy. There's like shirts that I saw a shirt today from a shop that has like 26 reviews, and it's like 5 months old, and they're selling shirts reference to Charlie Kirk. And there's so an insane amount of like listings that are getting like over 100 sales per day. And it's like shops with like 26 reviews, so small shops that are getting sales with that. But this is basically profiting off of human tragedies. So I would really, really recommend to keep everyone's store safe. I mentioned this in my own like school mentorship group, but like to anyone like doing POD, don't do any Charlie Kirk related stuff. First of all, is you're profiting of a human tragedy, which just feels wrong, but it's also like explicitly said in merch's like content policy that you can't do that. Etsy is a bit more vague, but what you're honestly doing too, apart from that, is that you're also like using someone's copyrights. You're infringing on copyright because you're using someone's likeness within your designs, which you don't have the explicit permission to do, which is basically copyright infringement. So you also violate like the intellectual property things on Etsy if you do that. So I would strongly recommend to anyone watching this, don't put up anything related to Charlie Kirk. If you have it, take it down just to keep your store safe. Because again, even if you get like 100 sales within a day, what's that compared to making like an insane amount more within a couple of years? It's not worth it to lose your shop over this. And
might be 100 sales today, but it'll be 0 sales tomorrow, and you won't get paid out the royalties. It's like the best-selling shirt that the day after or 2 days after that happened, the best-selling shirt had like a 20 BSR. I've never seen a 20 BSR on a merch shirt, and it's still eaten now. Like that person will never see the royalties. And I think the biggest problem with that niche is like there is a lot of fringe like phrases and words associated with it that don't specifically say Charlie Kirk, right? So it's hard to tell, I think, for people that don't know what happened or just don't watch the news, which I don't blame you for. Like the word freedom it's not
and
a
like
trademark word, but it's exact. It's
don't upload it now. You can't upload it for like a year or something like that now. Right? It's like there's a lot of people who don't even know what it is that are copying it too. So it's like if you ever do something and it starts selling like crazy, question it. I mean, like why is it selling every day?
Anything related to Turning Point, which is basically the name of his company that he had, that he like started. Anything related to that, or there's something called like what was the name? Let me just check. Something with blueberries or something like that.
There's also a lot of Christian like Bible quotes that have his signature under it. So if you see the same scribble signature underneath Bible quotes, just stay away from all of it. There's no point.
And you also got like the red, white, and blueberries, and then there's the name underneath. That's also in reference to him. So nothing with freedom, nothing with like red, white, and blueberries, nothing related to Turning Point as well. Those are the three things that comes to mind.
Also, if you were uploading anything with what's it called? Phonetic alphabet. So maybe you have designs that are unrelated to Charlie Kirk or the event, but they're just, phonetic alphabet, maybe like different words and stuff. Be careful with C, right? Charlie, anything with Charlie is going to get flagged at the moment. If you have old designs, it's probably fine. It's just right now, they'll all get rejected or taken down. So the reason I've seen this question a lot of times, he was wearing a shirt with the word freedom on it.
Yeah.
As he was murdered. That's why.
Yeah, very specific. It's like white shirt with black letters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just definitely not.
Oh, I can't drink.
Yeah, I've had stuff that gotten taken down after it became famous for some reason. Even I think it was Kanye West. What's your superpower stuff? I had these up before Kanye West, and after he came out with some song, they took one down.
Yeah.
So sometimes it can even be after the fact that you uploaded it.
Yeah. Welcome, Olaide. He's a part of the mentorship. So lovely to see him here.
Awesome.
There's a bunch of membership people here. Look, what's up, Council? What's up, Jose? This is Mark from Jay's group.
Hey,
Mark, man, Mark, you gotta write me, brother. Hit me up.
We've got.
Yeah, that's my man, Mark. Mark is the guy. He's a beast with automated digital downloads. He's from Jay's group. He has his own section in Jay's group where he teaches how he does this thing on automation. He's like an automation. Nice. Yeah, he teaches it because he has a whole system that allows him to make money. Like this is where we're all going, right? We all want automation. You know, that's why I'm having real conversation with him about what we could do together. But automation is the way for a lot of things. You know, now we got AI to generate stuff. You just need a human to look at things, but you can do a lot with automation.
This is a nice segue. By the way, thanks for anyone asking questions. I'll keep track of them. We'll answer some of them later. But this is a good segue. This is talking about automation into what you're building behind the scenes. So you want to talk about that a bit? Give a bit of a teaser of what
yeah. Now I got basically, you know, every time that you make an AI image and all the times you have to like go to all these different websites, like I got to upscale, I got a background move. Sometimes we have it all in one, but there's almost always something missing, right? There's always like, in order to do this, it just becomes tedious. So I do have a desktop software that's coming soon that we're testing in Merch Mastermind soon. By the way, a Mac version coming today, later. Let me not say that yet. But basically, it's going to be an app that you could just load up, you know, unlimited amount of images that you made on AI. And in the click of a button, it'll remove the background, upscale it, compress the file so it's not a big file. We got a speckle remover to make sure it doesn't have any speckles on it. Transparency cleaner. Basically, every problem we've ever had with images and cleaning them up.
Resizing is important.
Resizing, yeah, putting it in the right 45 by 5400. So basically, you set up the pipeline, and once you got it set up, you just hit a button and it goes. So you could take all these images that you just made on Ideogram, and in the click of a button, it'll just process them all, and they'll be ready to upload in the click of a button.
And best thing, no credits.
Yeah, no credits. There's no AI credits. It's going to be $69. You know, they're going to have $20 off. So $49, basically, you can have this for the rest of your life. You don't have to pay for, you know, a million other apps. Although some people like web apps, we're doing a web app version too. Philip, I didn't even tell you about this. So the web app version is going to have the same thing, but it's going to be a Chrome extension on the right side. So let's say you're on Google Studio, Ideogram, wherever you are, you're going to have a pipeline on the right side that you could just drag and drop the image. And when you drag and drop the image into the right panel, it'll automatically upscale, remove background, 45, 5400, and then download it. So no longer will you have to like, and now if you want to do it in bulk, you'll get the desktop app. But if you want to do sync image by image, oh man, I made that. That's cool. Instead of putting on your computer where it's going to sit for who knows how long, you just put it right there in that Chrome extension panel. It processes the image and then you download it. So now you'll never have a download if you don't want to. That won't have everything ready to go to upload. You know, because it's 2025. Why are we going to 5 different websites to do things?
Yeah.
Or even 2. Like, why even 2?
Yeah.
It's all in one place.
I know. I totally agree. Like, it's the biggest bottleneck. Like, you can create graphics so fast and so easily at this point, but then all the process after that is just horrible. So anything that makes that streamlined in one place, it's like, just imagine it. Imagine a tool where you can remove backgrounds, upscale, and have it resized to Amazon Merch dimensions, and the files are small enough.
Compressed, like 5 megabytes or less. Yeah.
No credits. You don't have to log in and upload things complicated way. It's so good. I've been testing it. We've been testing it in the Merch Mastermind because it's still in the testing phase, right? To officially launch.
Yeah, still got a lot of bugs. That's why I couldn't show it today, because if I show it on there, it's just going to keep messing up. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah.
So, but it'll, you know, as soon as we get some testing on.
I used it yesterday. Like, it's already pretty decent. I used it yesterday because I had a bunch of files in different sizes, and I just quickly resized them all to 4,500.
and a couple other use cases, like I download a lot from Creative Fabrica and stuff like that. It has a cleaner, right? So if you have stuff that's already background removed, you just run it through there and it'll make sure there's no transparency you can't see, any speckles to get rid of. And another cool thing I've been doing is a clipping mask. So you could actually take all your images and put a clipping mask on them. You could take 1,000 images, pick whatever clipping mask you want and press the button, and then all those images will have that clipping mask in just a few minutes. Right, nice. So you can make things colorful. So that's what I'm working on too. So it's going to be a lot of use cases. You know what I mean? And then eventually what I want to do is put an AI agent so you could just tell it what you want and it'll just pick the settings and do it for you, right? But like, yo, I got to, put all these for Printful instead of Amazon. And it'll already know to change the it'll do everything just based off of AI agent. That's where we definitely have to go. So it's less, the less you got to think, the better. I just want to put it up, press a button and go every time.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, doing the cleanup, man. I've had uploads. Just recently, I uploaded a bunch of stuff to Amazon and didn't realize there was a transparency on all the images that I couldn't see. There was a faint little pink. I'm like, oh, I just uploaded 3 days worth. I uploaded literally like 210 designs. So I had to delete them all. And I'm like, let me go to the tool. I went to the tool, took all the designs, put my transparency cleaner, pressed the button, and now they're clean. Right? I just threw it on all of them, whether they had it or not. Like, why even look through them? Just press the button. There's no credits, right? So just put everything you got in there and it'll clean everything up. And then you could upscale it more and it'll still bring it back down to 4,500. So you can even increase quality on everything, right? So let's say you got a whole bunch of designs that's already, you're like, I want to increase the quality a little bit. Put 8X. We got up to 16X upscale. So you could put the 16X and it'll bring it back down, compress it, and now you got a better file.
That's awesome, dude. But like, are you integrating with different like AI APIs, or are you just doing this?
We have the capability. So based on what people want. So this is the way it works. The APIs, there's two ways to do it. If you want to just do background removal, because I think Pixel Cut got a good one. I've been using Pixel Cut. It's the best one to me. Pixel Cut can do what the others can't. So we can add where people can buy an API and then remove their own background, do whatever they want. Or we can make it a service, but once you use AI, you can no longer just pay one time. It has to be a subscription because all the APIs have to tap into the services. So we can add that option. If people say, yo, we want an API to be able to use all these, like even image generation. If people want to go that route, we can, because it's set up to add anything we want to add to.
But the base idea is right, one-time fee, and then everything runs without any APIs. That's like the base
so
idea, right?
The web app version will probably be more with people if people really want to get that pipeline where you don't have to even get it to the desktop, because a lot of people like me, I'm a desktop person. I prefer to do things on my computer nice and fast. I like to press the button and walk away. I don't like unzipping files. I don't like that. So this app, it'll overwrite your file, so you don't have to duplicate. You can duplicate the file or you can overwrite the file. So this prevents me from upload, download, unzip. I hate all of that. Like to me, every second counts. I make apps and Chrome extensions for everything. Like I download for Creative Fabrica, I got a Chrome extension, so I don't have to go to the new tab. It'll automatically download it, and then and without me having, so I just open a new window and it'll just start downloading everything. To me, time is the key. Like if there's any advice I have for anybody, is time is valuable. You know what I mean? Like and everything I do, every second that I could save, I'm gonna save that second. I'm obsessed with this stuff.
Ready to buy. People want to buy it.
Yeah, people are ready, dude.
Yeah, man,
there's a lot of questions here. Like a lot of questions. People saying, "What's this app? I want this app." Wait, what was it? What tool is he talking about?
It's called Ready Pixel. Yeah, it's coming soon. And it's going to be an early version of it. It's going to get better as time goes. And I want everyone to tell me what they wanted to do. So like Google does the little, what do you call it? The little watermark. So I'll make a plugin that just takes care of that watermark, right? So like, add this. If you got a watermark, this will take care of it. So we can add every feature that people want. And I want it to be like a one-stop shop for images. And then once we have a web app version, not everybody wants desktop, right? So we'll do the web app version as well.
Nice.
Ready Pixel.
And I know, I know it's very tough to give approximates.
Yeah, so I want to tell you that it's going to be available soon, but the problem is that I've had with software, the software industry has zero sense of urgency. Zero. All right. These people are comfortable. They're not looking. They stop on Friday, start on Monday, and then they'll have a meeting with you today and says, okay, this is great. We'll pick this up in a month from now. So the software industry, no one's rushing. Right now, we're waiting on Apple to give us a license so we could do the Mac version. And I thought it was going to take, they said, oh, this only takes a couple days. Apple's like, yeah, you've been accepted. Now prove your identity. That takes another week. They come back, okay, now do this. And then they take another week for everything they do. So I told people I have the Mac version in a couple days. And here I am, everybody. And I noticed I can't say that anymore. I'm no longer going to say when, because although I want it to be ready tomorrow, there's too many other factors that will stop that. So if I told you a date now, I wouldn't make that date.
One thing that you have to try out, because I've been delving into the app world myself, but I do everything myself. I don't know how to code at all, but I do everything inside of like ChatGPT, because you can literally make apps within ChatGPT now. So one thing that I've recently done, for instance, is to automate the whole, like to prep the CSV for accounting and bookkeeping, so it's easy to bookkeep and I'll do all of that. So like I spent like a couple of weeks, up to a month, I think it was, to just make an app that takes like the CSV in your bank statement and gives you the exact amount that you actually earned and all the info that the accountant actually needs to account for it, just within 4 clicks. And you can do that within ChatGPT, which is awesome.
Yeah, I've done what's called vibe coding also, and it's still rough, but I was able to make my own couple Chrome extensions for myself. Vibe coding is the future. It's still not ready yet, but eventually people will be able to make their own little apps pretty fast.
Yeah, it's just awesome to see to see you as a creator being able to make your own app, not like other people that hasn't done this at all, making an app and then trying to fit within the niche, if that makes sense. It's always best when it comes from someone who actually knows the game.
Well, that's how I'm able to get developers, because developers, they got this thing called domain knowledge. So like, okay, if you got domain knowledge and you know how to build something people actually want, because a lot of developers out there, they're looking for people, they build things and then no one wants them. Yeah. And that's one of the biggest bottlenecks for developers. So they're working with me, like, okay, you actually know the industry you want to make an app for. Like, yo, this is all I want. Like, this is, to me, the magic that I felt with Print on Demand when I first started. I kind of have the same obsession now with the software game. Now, the software game is 20 million times harder. You got to be a patient human being, right? And you got to work with others. Like with Print on Demand, you don't have to depend on no one but yourself. And that's why I love it so much. You're not waiting on anybody for your sales to work. But in software, you got to depend on other people, and it becomes a whole different world. And it's very difficult, man. I've been dealing with it for 2 years, just trying to get something off the ground. I lost a lot of money. I'll tell that story another day. I lost a lot of money. People think I got money. I do not. Because I'm trying to get into the software, and I made a lot of mistakes, but I feel like if I could bring something, like my new obsession is tools, because I look at all the things that I don't have yet that I wish I had. For years, I'm on Photoshop, like, how many times do I got to do the same million things over and over, and there's not a fast way to do it? If they wanted to, if someone at Adobe wanted to, they could make a million features that would really benefit us. So 2 years ago, I met this guy online on Fiverr. I did some image processing. I had this idea. I said, yo, can you make it so Photoshop, I could just make the text have a color from the image? So this is the idea I had. When ChatGPT came out, I'm like, yo, I got to do something where, I'm going to lose sales to people because of AI. So I said, let me get ChatGPT to make a Photoshop script where it gets the color directly from the image and puts it into the text. So I met this guy on the internet, and he's like, yeah, I could get that for you. And I'm like, so you're going to do a Photoshop action? What you going to do? He says, no, I don't use Photoshop. I said, okay, I don't think you understand what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to make designs and make a script that'll make these designs automatically. And he's like, yeah, I don't use Photoshop. I'm like, man, this guy doesn't understand what I'm asking him. How do you not use Photoshop? You got to use something. And he just kept saying, but I don't. So I said, all right, let me see what happens. Because you don't have to pay unless you're satisfied. So I put the money up, and 5 days later, he replies to me. He's like, yo, it's ready. So he has a script. He says, okay, you see this text file? Put all your sayings, all your phrases in the text file. In this folder, you put all your images. And in this folder, you're going to pick all your fonts. I did it, and I pressed the button. And when I pressed that button, right on my Windows Explorer, one by one, there were PNG files, 4,500 by 5,400, directly centered, the phrases on the top, the image and the phrase had a gradient and a stroke directly from the color of the images. And one by one, I saw them popping up, PNG files on my computer. I said, what is going on? How are you doing this? I got up out of my seat, literally, and jumped up like, what is this? And I said, how come nobody's told me this was possible? How do you do this? He's like, what, do you think that has value? Why? I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I've never seen this in my life. PNG files ready to upload are being made one by one. I'm watching them pop up, and they all got different colors, and they all got different fonts, and they all look like somebody spent at least 5 minutes on each one. and this is automated. And then that transitioned my life and my mentality. I said, wait a minute, what else can you do? And then he's like, I could do this, blah, blah. I'm like, yo, wait a minute, can you do this? Make each, letter a different color, and then I could paste 1,000 words, and automatically it'll just create them where every letter's a different color. And he's been doing this for 2 years for me. And I'm like, yo, we got to make an ad or something. And that's going to be free, by the way. I'm going to release this because what happened was I tried to get an app built and I got burned by a developer. So I wasn't able to get this app, the one I just told you about, where it automatically makes the designs for you. So I was like, yo, you know what? We're going to give this away. We're going to give it away and just showcase this developer. Every day I would wake up in the morning and he would show me a new feature that he could do with text. I'm like, oh my God, if people from Etsy knew about this, they would buy it. Right? There's so many things that can be done. He changed my whole perspective on what can be possible in graphic design. So just because we got Canva and Etsy, and just because they don't do something doesn't mean it can't be done. And I would tell him, I'm like, yo, I wish we could make a little money, invest something so we could have this feature. He'd be like, I could do that right now. So why do you think that's difficult? I'm like, well, because no one's ever done it. And so he started showing me how easy it is to make some of these things that we could really benefit off in print on demand. And I got so much that he's built, and I wasn't able to build it because I got burned for $26,000 from a developer. And now I got played, man. I got played. It was long story. Yeah, it hurt. It hurt a lot. But I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna showcase my developer and try to do a fundraising or something and say, look what we're capable of. Look at what can be done. And I'm gonna start doing a YouTube channel. Like, there's so many possibilities that could solve our problems, and nobody's solving them. AI is not everything. I love AI, but it's not everything. Like, I went to Pixel Cut and I said, rotate my design. And they try to use AI to rotate the design. I'm like, why are you using AI for something so simple? You don't need AI for everything. And that's what these companies are missing. Yeah. For real. Like, why are you going to use AI to rotate a design? It makes no sense.
No, it makes total sense, because I did the same. Like, I developed my first app, my more intensely made app that figures out the CSV stuff, so you can easily bookkeep and account for it. But there's no, like, I developed it with AI, but it's not like using AI to use the app, if that makes sense. It's just using all the rules that I have in my head that I learned myself with an accountant to figure that stuff out. But it's not using AI at all. It was just developed with it. And it sounds like that's the way that a lot of the stuff within your, like with the ReadyPixel, was that the name of it, your software? Yeah. I think that's the way that yours is set up too. Like, you have all the options to just do it, and then if you want to to use AI, you can do that as an extension of it. But all the functions is just within the app itself, right?
Exactly. That's the name, right? To own it. You know what I mean? So, like, once LLMs become smaller too, we'll be able to do more AI on the computer. That's coming in the future, I'm sure. But right now, the whole goal is to do things fast and no longer have that bottleneck because that happens to me all the time. I can't tell you how many AI images. I'm like, yo, this is going to make a lot of money. And it's 6 months sitting on my computer because I just didn't get to it. So we need an all-in-one solution.
Also, just to clarify for people that are watching, because I've heard these stories a few times now, I think it's a little bit confusing sometimes because you have so many ideas. That there's two tools, right, that you're talking about. There's ReadyPixel.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah,
it's the image processing, which we talked about first, like upscaling, removing background, resizing. Yeah. And then Jose is also talking about another tool he's working on, which is
called QuickPixel. QuickPixel is where you can make designs quickly.
Yeah, and that will be free.
And that's going to be free at first, and we're going to fundraise to try to make it into like a web app, Canva type of app. So I'm like, give it away just to show people the possibilities. I want people to know how much is possible that Adobe and Canva ain't doing. Because I think if people have awareness that we can have all our prayers answered, it's not hard to do. And imagine a community building a graphic design app that we decide what it's going to have. Because the reason Canva and Adobe can't do it is because they already built an infrastructure a certain way. And when they built their apps, it was not designed to do what they want over here. So that's the reason all these feature requests get ignored by so many companies, because they simply can't do it, or it's too big of a task that would cost too much money because they would have to change infrastructure and it would be this whole thing. But if you go from day one and you say, we're going to build an app that does all these things, and you tell the features before you build it, then you can build it that way. So every problem you've ever had with apps, we can solve all of them, every last one of them, if we built it as a community and said, what else do we need to put in here? And people say, make sure it has this, done. It won't be built without it. And then we'll have an actual app that does everything we want it to do all in one place. Like, that's my dream. That's definitely my dream. And I think even with AI, you incorporate graphic design with AI. I disagree wholeheartedly with everything AI. It doesn't make sense to me personally. Oh, everything's a credit. Oh, that came out bad. You're still paying credits. That's not going to be forever where people are just comfortable losing money for no reason.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, AI is amazing what it does, but some of the stuff doesn't have to be. If I have a font and I want to change the word 100 times, I could just have AI use the font and write the word. Right, instead of having an image generate, and that's a much cheaper way if you want it that way. But you can also do a system that feels like AI that's not AI using tags, which is what Quick Pixel is. I showed it to one person, they thought it was AI. I'm like, no, you can do a lot of things that feel like AI and don't take credits, and you just pay one time and you can own it. And that's kind of where I want to go. Like this whole credit thing is AI is beautiful, but the credit stuff.
Dude, I totally like I agree, because like the app that I developed, it's the same kind of thing. Like you can do whatever you want. Like this is specifically for like all the boring stuff that you don't want to do. Doesn't cost you anything to use it as long as you're like enrolled in my mentorship. But the app itself is just use it and do whatever you want with it. To use the app doesn't cost you anything itself, as long as you are enrolled in the mentorship. But again, using the app itself doesn't have to be required to like use tokens from AI. I feel the same way. Like some things, definitely. Like yes, if you're doing like image generation or more complex task that needs reasoning, but like simple stuff like changing the font that you're describing, something like that, that shouldn't like use AI tokens. I totally agree with that for sure. Because one of the biggest things that I find is that once you experiment, because you always got to experiment with stuff, you run out of those tokens so fast, and then you just have to upgrade it and pay more, and becomes like a big cost. And that's honestly a big issue for a lot of my the students in my mentorship, that tokens and just all those subscription costs when you use AI just cost too much. So I highly agree with that. Some things should be token based, but not all of them.
Yeah. AI together with human input, like that's the beautiful way to do everything that I've ever done with AI is a million times better when you mix AI with yourself, right?
Yeah.
We're working together. You're not doing everything for me. And yet in graphic design, we haven't seen too much of this yet. And I think that's a huge mistake. And it's most likely because they didn't build their infrastructure to do that. So building something from scratch 100% solves it. And if we can make something that people like, what's it, Affinity Designer, right? You pay for it and you can own a lot of it with the option of AI credits for certain things that you can only do with AI, right? And I think that's the best way to go. Graphic design is amazing. I think when we see Quick Pixel, you're going to see how much we could do without AI. And I think people are going to be impressed by it. They're like, oh, okay, we can still make a lot of great things without AI. It's fast.
By the way, one thing that was mentioned when you were describing Ready Pixel was Go Graphic was saying there's a web app that does some of what you said. And where is it?
It was Artistly, I think you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have it. Yeah, I have Artistly.
It does have limitations though, right? It does not. I saw your feed, like your review of it, Philip. It wasn't that good, right? Honestly.
Yeah, in my opinion, and I didn't research it like for days, and I didn't get the most expensive version of it, only the cheap version of it. But having tested Jose's tool and knowing the fact that it focuses on one thing only, and that's processing images, and knowing the fact that Artistly focuses on like 30 different things.
Yeah, they got a whole system, a whole
and again, a lot of it is just based on AI. It's AI. Jose's tool is run locally, and do it in bulk, which I don't know if Artistly can do those things in bulk.
Anything AI is going to have a limit. Like they said, even Artistly has a credit limit on how many it's unlimited, but it's not. Right?
Yeah,
it's still a limit. So yeah, that it's going to always. You can't have free AI. There's no way. It's not the developer's fault. It's just impossible. You're tapping into some heavy resource that needs to be paid for. I mean, so even with Artistly, but what I think about the web app version of what I'm talking about means you can actually. Well, I think it excels is that you can be on your favorite AI. You love Ideogram, the Chrome extension will be right next to it. You love Midjourney, the Chrome extension is right there. So it doesn't matter what you use. You can just drag and drop that image on the web as well. That's going to be a real favorite of mine as well. I think a lot of people will see how much time you're going to save. Oh, I might use this, I might not. Drag and drop it, done.
I'd be excited to test this out because, like, I use a lot of my designs, and like, I use that for a lot of things. Using that even more nowadays. So that's one of my primary like softwares that I use for, a bunch of stuff now. So I'd love to try this out and just compare the two and like see what it is. Especially, but as long as it's available on Mac, because everything I do is on a Mac.
Yeah, I got to get the Mac version big time, man. Everybody, I didn't know everyone uses Mac in POD. It's like 90% of POD is Mac people. So I got to get up on it.
Windows.
And random stranger, he's industry leaders have a tendency to get lazy. Now, what I'll say about that, right? I don't know. I'm not saying I know everything about software, but from my experience, things get very difficult as you build. And like I said before, if they don't build it, when it comes to building software, you got to think of it like this. Say there's something on top of a building, and you're like, okay, you got to get to the top of the building. You could do a lot of different things. You could stack boxes, climb the box. You could get on a ladder and do it that way. You could get a rope and get it that way, whatever's on top of it, right? So there's a million ways to do the same thing. And when people build software, they have to choose what way they're going to build it. And if they built it in a way, sometimes people say, let's build this fast as we can. So they're not worried about it having to expand later. So they may have built it a certain way to optimize speed. And this is what I learned. And so when I talk to my developers, I'm like, yo, I want to build this in a way where we can expand it at any time. The only request I have to a developer is if I tell you I have an idea, you say it can be done. If you tell me something can't be done, you didn't build it right. So a lot of these software companies, they built it a certain way that what you're asking for could take a long time. Perfect example, right? On ReadyPixel, there was a contiguous button. It was a check mark, a checkbox. And I said, yo, listen, I want you to move that checkbox up over here. He said, that's going to take a couple days.
To move a button.
To move a button. Software is insane. And so it's in defense of these software companies. They're not going to tell you all these things, right? They're not going to say, yo, we built it wrong. We can't do that. The last thing a software company wants to do is tell customers no. So instead, they'll ignore you. They'll just pretend like, thank you so much for your feedback. We really value it. And we're never going to do this ever.
But Jose, do you know, are the coders? Because again, I've done only like coding and like several apps now in ChatGPT. But are they using React to code every stuff in, or? Well,
if that's their tech stack, right? So it depends on the developer, right? Okay. What they use is not as important as how good they are at it.
No. My thinking is, what if? Because again, this is your product. You're paying for it. Can't you just take the code, make it, and like, again, just take that, pump it into a GPT, or like make it just a new chat in GPT, and then because again, you can just ask then the chat GPT in a human language what to implement, what to figure out. And then you can just use the like GPT itself to make the code, and then you can like also integrate that with like if you want a user interface, someone has to log in. You can use like something like Netlify, because that's what I did.
So here's the thing about that, right? When it comes to that's called vibe coding. What you're saying, by the way, that's what we call vibe coding. Is where you prompt an app pretty much. So here's the problem with that. The problem is if you're talking about building something you want to expand on over and over. I put it like this. Philip talked about that color removal that I made. Remember that? I don't know, Philip, you the color remover.
The first app.
Yeah, I vibe coded that, right? So it works perfectly right now. But here's what happened. The code is garbage code. So you can achieve something and the code can be so bad that now when I try to add a feature, it breaks the app. I can't do anything more with that app because I vibe code. See, the vibe code is not going to make sure that the code behind the scenes is that good. So even though vibe coding is great, if you want to expand it and really make a robust app, you're going to come into problems eventually if you keep expanding through vibe coding. This is why there's, everyone say, oh, vibe coding is taking over. Not yet. You still got to be a coder to understand the code. Because I was vibe coding, my developer was like, I said, well, you said you can't do this. The vibe coder did it. He's like, yeah, you told me it was broke, right? I said, oh, wow, yeah.
I like your analogy with the house because it's like you can build it fast and have like a wonky structure. You can build it out of sticks and stones kind of thing. Or maybe that's vibe coding, like just using chewing gum and stones or sticks. And then if you want to change anything, it just breaks, right? You need to take out something.
Because let's say you want to add 5 more floors, but you use Plexiboard or something cheap to build it. You try building on top of that, it's going to collapse. But it looked good on the outside.
Yeah.
And this behind the scenes. Yeah, like this one say
like
you can't.
Homer meme where he's like, his body looks good from the front, but from the back you can see all the
But like the thing that happened with my GPT, because it was insanely complex to implement all the rules that I do, like every month with the Etsy stuff when it comes to like the bookkeeping and stuff like that. And it broke down like a couple times, but I just said that I get this syntax error, and then it fixes it automatically for me.
Well, here's what's interesting. Every time you get a syntax error, you're getting more bad code on top of it. So behind the scenes is building bad code. And it will eventually, and this is coming from developers. My developer always tells me, vibe coding, it works at first. The minute you get to a certain level, it's messing it all up. So my developer, who's a genius, he'll sit there, it's like, yo, I vibe coded something, and when it came time to expand, I now had to redo all that work because I saw how bad the code was. So as good as you can make something small right now, like if you want to make a quick Chrome extension for yourself, ChatGPT does that. Like I had ChatGPT build me, it was editing the Pinterest Chrome extension that I had. You can take a Chrome extension and edit it. Like here's the zip file. Can you make the Chrome extension color change? It'll do that. Nice and easy. Right.
Okay, but the thing for me was that I have like so many rules that I realized when I actually like to all of the like prepping the stuff for bookkeeping and accounting when it comes to the Etsy CSV that you get every single month. There's a ton of rules that you have to implement, like an absurd amount to make it work. So it needs like a whole like. It could be because of the code is bad, but when I like backed this specific like folder up that contains the app itself, it's like 46,000 files. That is the actual app. So it's definitely like that was the biggest app that I've ever done. It was an insanely big task to create the app, but it does really work though. And when I did want to modify it, like all I ask is ChatGPT, and like either I remove some code myself, insert what I get from ChatGPT. At least with ChatGPT 5, I felt that it runs pretty smoothly every single time that I use it. But again, I've only done one major endeavor. Then I've done like some simple ones too, more like the thing that you were describing. But
and it could also be that what you're working on doesn't need complicated code, right? So you might be getting lucky in the sense that the one thing you're doing might have better code than say some different kind of feature or function. Yeah, but just be aware.
Yeah, because all it does is just implementing rules that I have in my head into the screen. There's no APIs, nothing like that. Just rules inside of my head put into a box where it works. It's just that there's a lot of rules that needs to be put in there. And that's what I basically did, but no APIs between anything.
Yeah, that makes it way heavier than using APIs.
All right, speaking of tools and AI, what are everyone's thoughts on Nano Banana now? I'm guessing you've both used it over the past 2-3 weeks quite a bit. What do we think? Is it still better than ChatGPT? What does it do better? What does it do worse? Any opinions?
Well, I know recently, like very recently, it's been and not doing what I'm asking it to do. I feel like what happened with ChatGPT, where it's awesome in the beginning and it kind of starts falling off. I'm kind of starting to feel that's happening with Nano Banana. It's just like, I'll say, change this, and over and over, I changed it. You didn't change anything. Why is this happening? Like, it will have moments where it's really just kind of bugs out. And I'm like, damn, here we go again.
Yeah, that didn't happen at first, did it? Like, at first I didn't have that at all, but I do remember having it once or twice.
I totally agree, because honestly, like I released a video like a couple days ago showcasing how to make the bootleg shirts in a super consistent, easy manner with Nano Banana. But now, as I try this afterwards, and I said basically change this to something else, it's been bugging out. But in the beginning, like a week after it was released, it worked perfectly. And like you can even see it in the video that I released like 2 days ago, that it's like that it was super consistent. Like take this design and make it with this person instead. Super easy to use. But yeah, there's some update to make it a bit wonky.
Well, the theory is what Sam Altman also did with ChatGPT is like in the beginning, they're going to give you this really expensive model while everyone's on YouTube hyping it up and it works beautifully. Now that everyone's coming to it, give it the other model now, because now it saves them money. And they say behind the scenes, that's what they all supposedly, this is how they save money. Because once everyone's using it, that's it, right? The whole purpose is to get everyone to use it. Once you're using it, you don't really stop. And so they'll do what it takes to get everyone in, change the model. Now they get to save money and everyone's already using it, And Google's doing a bunch of stuff.
I guess this would be kind of like, if you compare it to Amazon merch, if we had the ability to change the standard t-shirt quality, you would be like, you do Jose's method, zero royalties. You'd give it like a good quality shirt, and then get it really good reviews really quickly. And then once it's selling, you increase the price, and you go back down to the crappy shirt. And that's the idea, right? So then you can cash in.
Yeah. I mean, and I've actually, well, I'm not saying I've done that, but I've had similar situations where people, you could sell it. Yeah, actually, I have done that. Like you so want to be like, okay, well, I want to save money. I'm like, well, I could give you this cheaper shirt. And I used to do screen printing, which is what I'm talking about. By the way, that's a great hustle. Whoever hasn't done screen printing, if you want extra money, I can tell you about that too. But yeah, it's a common thing that you can save a lot of money just by changing the shirt. And there are people who will do that, especially on certain websites. You'll see this beautiful mock-up, right? It look like a cotton heritage shirt, and then you get a gilded. And some people don't care. So it depends on the customer. But yeah, that switcheroo thing is crazy.
Damn.
Huh. It's annoying because, like you just said, Andreas, like you make a video, by the time it's edited and uploaded, some of the stuff doesn't work as well as when you were recording. And it's like, come on, man.
And I even we even like me and my editor, I was like I recorded 3 videos that day. I was like, prioritize this specific Nano Banana video first. And so I tried to get it up as soon as possible, but like just since this is a whole process, like you record it, then you have someone has to edit it, and then it has to be uploaded with a thumbnail, and you have to create the thumbnail, and then all that stuff. It just takes a while. So sucks, but either way, I think it's like probably what they probably found was that it costs a lot to do a lot of these things. And they probably, like you said, Jose, that they like minimize the access to it, kind of like ChatGPT did.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably might fix some of these stuff later. But it was crazy how consistent it was with a super. Like I was saying, these bootleg rap tee designs has been a hassle to make. Like without any AI, or even with an AI, because that doesn't really work with the AI stuff, at least in my experience. So
how do you remove the background from that? Because it has a lot of like lightning and stuff. Isn't that really tough for background removal if you're doing it with AI only?
Not with Nano Banana, honestly. Like for the thumbnail that I did, I used the real latest Nano Banana one, and it had the exact same experience that Jose had. Like I asked him to do one thing and it never did, and my tokens just I just still used the free tokens, and that was just eating it up. And then I just asked for specific elements. So like for the lightning, I just asked, give me the exact lightning used in the image, and then it just did exactly that. So when I asked for specific elements used in the image, I could just take those like 3 different elements, like the text, the lightning, and the people, grab that, put that into Canva, and then stack them up together as I wanted. That worked for me.
I do still think, though, because we're only giving it slack now, I do still think, though, it has a lot of benefits over ChatGPT, even if it does, have its hiccups.
It's still the number one. Like, it's still number one. I'm just so sad that we have number one, and number one is probably not going to be number one. Now the next company is going to come and take over after this.
Yeah,
that's what I hope for.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's also still like you can still use it for free pretty effectively, right? If you switch between the 3 platforms like Ella Marina, AI Studio, and Gemini.
Yeah.
And then if you do rate limit on all of them, incognito window, right? I think that still works pretty well, which is good. Someone was saying I prefer Seed Dream. I know there's like a new version of it. I tested it.
No, see, I actually got a video coming out about Seed Dream. Seed Dream is the people who made TikTok. ByteDance. Yeah, the people who made TikTok, ByteDance. They got Seed Dream, which is it's supposed to be a competitor to Nano Banana. I'm gonna try it since Mark said that, because I tried it, and honestly, I made a video, and when I made the video, I was like, yo, this thing sucks. But maybe it doesn't. So I didn't know if I should put the video out, because I'm like, is this going to really benefit anybody? I don't think it's better. But based off what Mark is saying, I might have to, because I know Mark knows what he's talking about. So I might have to check it again.
I was trying it yesterday in my designs, because I saw it's built into my designs now, and I wasn't too impressed with giving it image prompts. But maybe there's a better way to use it. I don't know.
I did it in Ella Marina side by side, and Nano Banana won every time. So I was like, I don't know if this is valuable, but I'm going to have to definitely look at it again. Maybe they've improved, right? Maybe while Nano Banana is getting worse, Seed Dream is getting better.
Could be. I've never heard of Seed Dream before, actually. So this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, they call it the Nano Banana Killer, but that's just YouTube clickbait. But it's a competitor. it's. Thank you, Go Graph. Appreciate you, bro.
Right, let's go through some previous questions we missed earlier. So, Wheatrix is asking, is there a good bulk upload app for Printify? I would like to have something that prepares products for eBay, Etsy, and Amazon. I'm guessing Amazon's still less central. So that I can easily sync. Is a hassle to create and then copy to stores. So bulk upload app for Printify, there is My Designs and there is Flying Upload. Those are kind of the two most reliable ones that I know. My Designs is still not integrated with Amazon Seller Central, probably because of similar things that Jose was talking about. It takes 50,000 stages to get accepted into stuff like that. But with Flying Upload, you can, I think, upload from Printify to Amazon. Yeah. Unless something's changed, because I've not tried it for a while, but I remember doing that. And
they have Printify? I didn't know they had Printify. I thought they had Printful.
Yeah, Printful and Printify, and I'm pretty sure you can upload to Etsy, eBay, and Amazon with it. I could be wrong, but just check. Yeah, eBay, Etsy, Shopify. Oh, what happened to Amazon then? I swear that was Amazon. So maybe I'm wrong there. Oh, Printful. Printful has Amazon.
Printful has Amazon, Etsy, eBay, all that.
Yeah. Printify doesn't.
Printify is with Amazon though. You can't. They have Amazon FBM. They do have that.
So Printify or Printful? Which one did you say?
Printify. Like Printful is the old one that had them all, but Printify, since I think it was last year maybe, they now have FBM on Amazon too.
But there's no way to do upload automation from Printify to Amazon, as far as I'm aware. At least you can do it with My Designs of Flying. Maybe there's an alternative tool. I'm not sure.
Okay, that I don't know.
Yeah, because selling on Amazon directly is such a good thing to do. Whoever hasn't done it, man, if you have an opportunity to sell on Amazon, it's a beautiful thing, especially if you sell merch by Amazon shirts. When you see those t-shirts for $7, the way they do that is through screen printing, right? Like if you have a design that sells 1 million times a year, imagine you could get it screen printed. And now every t-shirt costs $4. You go to a fulfillment company, right? It's just like print on demand. A lot of people, I used to make a lot of money before print on demand doing the screen print hustle, because none of it you have to actually be there physically. Everything is online with companies. So imagine you got a top seller. You decide to get a whole bunch of t-shirts screen printed. So if you screen print them, you're talking about as low as $4, $3.50 a shirt. And then you're selling them for $20. A fulfillment company keeps their share. Now you can make, let's say they take about $5. You got $13 a sale. And it's just like print on demand. You're still not doing any of the work, right? So that's a beautiful hustle that a lot of people don't know about in the screen print hustle if you go directly through Amazon. I mean, it's just crazy, profits, big time.
Melene is asking, are some of your products still on Amazon's automated sale price? I've had some new ones recently that got locked into it. There is probably still some old ones. I don't know. I know there has been a wave of new discounted ones because there's a Prime Day in 3 weeks. So I don't know whether they're doing it already.
Whole bunch of mine.
Yeah, same here.
You're probably not bothered, are you, Jose? Because you're not running ads. But a lot of people are obviously annoyed about that because it makes it difficult to run ads. Then next question again from Aline was, I saw on one of my Tumblr sales on the Amazon screen, it said this item is not currently available, that they run out of the product. I've had this as well recently sometimes where I open up a product of mine that is selling and it says, oh, not available, even though I have an American zip code selected. So I think it's just some glitch on the Amazon end.
It could be a glitch. It's been happening to me for years. You know what I mean? It could be a glitch. It could be that they're low on inventory that day. It's a million reasons with Amazon, but it's not going to stay that way, right? Like those are usually very temporary things when you see them. And it says that for you, right? Maybe it's where you are in the world. I mean, who knows? It could be like that for someone else. I've had times where I couldn't find my listings and other people could. So when it comes to Amazon and what they're doing, we don't really know that it's universal, right? They could be like that for you and not others. So
Yes, it's just like that Etsy feature where it says this many people have the item in their carts or have purchased over the past 24 hours. It doesn't look the same for everyone, even if it's the same listing at the same time. People will see different text. Do you guys, Sagastic,
yeah.
do you guys also pay forex charges and international payments? Like I live in India, and when I pay to Printify for my order, I have to pay 4% extra per dollar for international transactions.
I can hop on this a bit 'cause I don't pay that. So so what I recommend to do when you have, because this is an Etsy thing, it sounds like. So when you, I think it's really important to have your the currency that's in your bank with your Etsy store. Otherwise, you incur a 2.5 conversion fee on all payouts to your bank, which is insanely high. Apart from that, too, if you pay 4% extra per dollars for international transactions within your bank, that's a really high exchange rate that your bank has, or like currency fee, the currency exchange rate that you have. I have some of my students. I haven't tried this out myself, so I can't like confidently see that this works really well because I haven't done this myself. But I have a lot of students, like just like me, that are like sitting in other countries that is not the U.S. and selling primarily in the U.S. And some of them use Wise, so they send money to Wise and they fulfill all their orders using that Wise wallet. I would strongly recommend to not like use Wise within your Etsy, like as your Etsy bank account, because it's not a bank. Etsy, like Wise is similar to what what PayPal is. It's just a payment like service. It's not a bank. Really important distinction there. So you can't really have. I don't really recommend to have Wise as the bank account selected within your Etsy store, but you can definitely try like sending money to a Wise account and then paying your Printify fees with the Wise account, because with the Wise wallet, you basically pay a minimal, I think it's like 0.6% in like currency exchange rates when it comes to paying in other currencies than the one that you have in. So you can check that out, but I just want to pinpoint that you should definitely still keep the bank account, like the bank account that you actually have in your real bank, have that on Etsy, but play around with like getting a Wise account maybe, and then paying your Printify fees with that, because Printify is really nice. You can always play around with that, but Etsy is not as forgiving as Printify is.
Right. I hope that answers your question. Next one is from Casey. Casey. For Q4, I plan on going after high sellers on Amazon, making a better design, and then running product targeting ads on them. Is this realistic, or is the competition too high to get a profitable ROAS? So it sounds to me like you want to go after designs that sell really well on Amazon, make your own better version of that design, run an ad that targets that bestseller, right? I think that's the idea. And then wondering if it's going to be profitable. Really hard to give an answer to that, because it might work, it might not work in some cases, in some niches, like based on your design skills. There's so many variables, and it's also based on testing. Like I wouldn't say that necessarily product tagging is going to be the best option. You don't really know that until you've tested multiple ad structures, because maybe for your niche or your design, actually automatic campaigns will do the best. You don't really know this kind of thing until you've tested it, unfortunately.
I don't do ads, but that seems like something that you would have to practice and get better at over time. The strategy like that.
Yeah.
Generally, you could do well with this if you have patience and you're good at coming up with better designs that are out there, and you're happy, to try something like the zero royalty. Because the thing is, if you're wanting to go after high sellers, they're probably going to be in very competitive niches. So you have to try and provide an edge somehow. That's going to be through really low price, really high ad spend, or both. If there's already established sellers with a lot of reviews, it'll be tough to compete. and be profitable. Is it possible? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's a lot of it has to do with testing.
Yeah, I concur. I think that the biggest thing too is to just add value through the design. So like making a design that isn't there, like you can copy someone who is doing that. As long as you're adding a design that worked in like X niche and you're targeting the Y niche, you can take the X design that worked in X niche, in X niche, and you can put that type of design style in the Y niche. As long as it hasn't been implemented like that before. But that's the key thing. Like you can't like add a design style that has already been there. At least that's my take on it. As long as you're adding value through the design, plus then implementing some of the strategies that all of us are talking about, I think that's the winning formula. And then, all in all, you just have to test stuff, like Philip was really pressing on.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Within your question, I think the one way you're making this more difficult for yourself is saying you're going after a high seller and then making a better design. Maybe I'm just understanding it wrong, but I would do it where I look at a high selling niche, a niche that has really high potential, and I look for a completely new angle into that niche. So you're not trying to improve an existing design. You think, what hasn't been done in this niche yet? What could work really well? Or what has been working really well in other niches? And then you apply that to that high demand niche. And if you test it with lower pricing with ads and it converts well, then it has potential to turn into profitable ROAS with ads.
Yeah, because then you're going after the keyword that brings up those high sellers, right?
Yeah.
And you just want to come up in the same search results and try to be next to them, so it doesn't, and plus I strongly believe now more than ever that the more your design looks like someone else's, the least likely Amazon will show it. I mean, it's not impossible, but I do believe that because of the ideogram thing that's been happening, and I've seen this, like I one of the things that I do a lot is analyze search results. Like that's probably what I do more than anything. And this is, that's another little cheat code that when you have a visual of what kinds of things sell, you tend to create the kinds of things that sell. But now the more you look like someone else, I've seen with my own eyes, I thought that there'll be things, they'll bury some stuff in page 3 because it looks exactly like something on page 1. I've seen this with my own eyes. So, I think that old idea of making something look very much alike, I think Amazon's phasing that. So you can go ahead and do it, right? Amazon's not going to stop you from doing it. But I truly, truly believe that you're not as likely to sell it as far. You might have to run real high ads on it because I think organically, ads might be the only way to do that. And I just don't believe Amazon is happy about people doing exact copies. It ruins the customer experience, and it's just not sustainable, right? You might get a sale or two here, but if you want to make some longevity, be as different as possible with the same keyword. I say this all the time. Like when I show my niches, I remember the lot of stuff I used to do. Like I had this one guy portrait, it would sell all the time. And I took a Photoshop action and made a pencil drawing version of it. Same exact image. It's selling already, presented at least in a different way where someone says, oh, I like this one way better. And it has a clear, distinct difference. And that has been the number one key. Because I have copied, I have done stuff, and it never, ever, 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 ever become my top sellers. Right. Yeah. But I had gone with the exact phrases other people used and ended up beating them. But it looks completely different.
And if you think about it, sorry to cut you off there. Sorry. No, so if you think about what Jose told you before, so his strategy is basically adding stuff that isn't there. Like no one is thinking of a lettuce. Let's take a lettuce and put that on Amazon. And then he basically adds value through adding something that people want. Then he waits for a lot of sales to build up the reviews. Now, let's say that you copy Jose's lettuce design. You have 0 reviews, and this goes back to the principle. Like, this is, let's see if my camera can show this. This is Jose's lettuce design. This is your design with 0 reviews and almost the same like lettuce design, just with like a different font. Which is like this one has 50 reviews. And it's like at $16.99 or like $19.99 or like $21.99. Who cares? It still has 50 reviews. This one is like at 13.38 and has just 0 reviews. What's the likelihood that someone will actually want to buy yours that has no proven record of like like selling well, or that they will actually like get the thing that they actually want, which is the shirts. Whereas this one has even photo reviews. You can see people wearing the shirt. It has 50 like reviews. You can also see some bad reviews, which also gives you a good sense that this is not fake by any means, because there's also some bad reviews. Which one will you choose? This one has a $10 more price, but the likelihood of you actually achieving what you want is so much higher, so you pay this one that has a lot more reviews. So you can't compete, just like Jose says, like you can't compete by copying anyone. All you can do is add value, and then once you want to copy someone, it's because they have so much traction that you want to get the results, but you can't get the results without adding value, just like they did from the get. So that's really what I wanted to highlight, because it goes in line so much with what he said at the beginning of this whole live stream too, that you have to add value in order to make this whole thing work.
And people wonder why, I'm so comfortable showing off my listings, because I know that. Copy all you want. You're not knocking my listings off.
Yeah.
You're not. I'm confident. Like, I know this game. One thing I know is Amazon print on demand. Merch by Amazon, I know that. I know a lot of things in life, but I don't believe there's a human on the planet more analytical than me. Like, I was sick for a couple years, and all I did every day was just watch and analyze everything. I'm like, oh, once you know the game, and once you know how Amazon puts things on that page, and you can over and over every day, oh, look at the search results. Why is it that Amazon always shows this design, but I can go over here and see 1 million copies of it? They don't put 1 million copies of that design on page 1. There's only one. So you could copy my designs all you want to. You're not knocking me off the front page. You're not. Because you came in way after, and Amazon's algorithm at this point, it knows everything. It knows every trick, and it knows what's valuable, and it knows what's not. And it knows that you're making a knockoff.
I do want to add, I got this from Mr. Beast, and he said this really wonderfully. He said, if you can just swap out the word algorithm with the word people, you get a much better sense of how the market actually works. So the people actually want to buy your listing more because it has proven track record, and people don't want to buy another listing that has the exact same design for a lower price because it doesn't have the proven track record. It's the people that chooses, and the algorithm just supports their buying decision. That's my take on it, at least.
Yeah, 100%.
And I agree with Jose that he's not going to get knocked off the first page unless perhaps his design is priced really high, and then it loses momentum against copies that are priced really low. But that's not what Jose does, so you're not really going to win that game. So the only way would be... No, I'm not going to say it. The only way would be... Right, here's the related question.
No, go ahead and say it. If there's a way, do it. I want to know.
No, the only way to knock Jose off, if you're copying stuff, would be to price at 0 royalties and run ads, right?
And wait like a year too. Don't forget.
And wait until you have a lot of reviews.
Yeah. And I'm excited by competition. Like, this is the mentality.
There's so much easier ways though to make sales from POD. Like, just create a design. It doesn't even have to be original, as in like you're some magician that comes up with a new idea. It has to be a new idea in that niche, right? That's the whole thing. And then you have so much less friction to actually get them to page 1. So that's the key to take away here is.
And nowadays there's nothing easier than going to ChatGPT or wherever you want and say, hey, look, this is a top selling design. I want to make sure mine looks nothing like it, but has the exact same sentiment, has the exact same meaning.
Yeah.
So I can match the same keywords. Done.
Yeah.
But I do still think that if you think about it also, before we move on to the next question, if we just if you think about if Jose has 50 reviews and now someone copies him, if they wait a year, Jose will have 100 reviews and they might have 45 reviews. You will never catch at a specific point. You will never ever catch up, even if he has a shirt at $24.99, just because the likelihood of them actually getting the shirt that they actually want from Amazon is so much higher. So they might be able to be somewhere up there, but the reviews count will still pile up, because you also have to think about when people buy stuff at a higher price, it's generally it's easier people to deal with than people that buy stuff at $14.99. Because if you've ever sold cheap stuff to anyone, when I did you can probably relate to this, Jose. When I did some mixes for some people, for some artists, I charged half off, and I literally put my everything into it. I referenced Gravity by John Mayer. I really got it to a T to be like that, and it sounded so good. Mixing is a subjective thing, which but it was really, really good. It worked really, really well. I had a friend who's a mixing and mastering engineer. That's what he does every single day. Look at it, and sounded really great. Send it off to the client. He thought it was trash, which can be okay. But then he has another mixer also mixes it, and it's way off balance. It sounds more like you get the kick with just it sounds way off balance overall. But he paid so much more for it, which also showed me that, okay, because again, I had the same experience. Like I did a really bad mix, a really fast mix for someone. It was one of my personally like worst mixes that I've ever done for a client, and he loved it. But I charged double from the first one. So like the way how much someone pays for something also changes the perception of it. So like if Jose, for instance, have 50 reviews and then someone starts to copy him, he changes the price to $21.99. Then you will still get more good reviews because you only get those types of people that actually purchase it. Whereas if you charge it at like $13.38, you always get like the bottom feeder type of customers that are really nitpicky about every single cent. So I still think at a certain specific point, there's no way you can ever catch up to him just because he added value and then he changed the price. And then once you are even close to it, he will have been like gone off the races. That's my take on it.
Now, I wonder, Andreas, how much of your mentality is coming from the Alex Hormozy school of doing things?
Some of it comes from there, but a lot like the main thing comes from experience, like working with like customers, especially like the mixing customers. I learned that, okay, if I charge half the price and I make the absolute best mix that I've ever done, this really dependent on me. I can have him feel that this is the worst mix ever. Then I can do the worst mix ever, charge double the price, and that's like a great mix for someone. So that's where I learned that pricing also like changes perception, even if it's the exact same product. So a lot of it comes from that, but Hormozy stuff has always confirmed it. So I've just implemented a lot of his things. Like one rule that I implement a lot now is like the 70-20-10 rule. You focus 70% on what works, 20% on what works adjacently, and 10% on new stuff. But the good part is that once I implement stuff, because I don't think anything off the bat, I hear something, I implement it, and I validate if it works right away. And the good thing is that the rate that it actually works is just it always kind of works. It's not every single time, but most times it actually works, which is why I like Hormozy. But
So Hormozy, he talks a lot about bundling, making the perceived value, right? Whatever you got to do to make the sale. You can't really apply Hormozy to merch by Amazon, but you could apply it to Etsy, right? Like you can do Etsy, all the stuff that he talks about. You pick, what would you do? Pick the most high quality t-shirt for your brand, right? To give the value of it. Like how much do you do on Etsy from the things that he talks about and how to make money?
I do a lot of there. So it's basically how I think about Etsy. So for instance, like in our mentorship, we have like these listing image template mockups. And when it comes to like making a video, for instance, on Etsy, there's so many misconceptions that you can just make a slideshow of all of the like different images in your listing, which doesn't make sense at all. Because the purpose, again, this comes specifically from Hormozy. The purpose of a video when it comes to apparel and e-commerce is to increase the perceived likelihood of achievement. Now, what does that mean, actually? It basically means that if you see a listing on Etsy and someone is wearing the shirt with your print on, they can actually see the fit on the specific woman. Now, it's a young woman and it's kind of tight, which is usually like the Bella Canvas 2001. It's a tight-knit, snug shirt. And that gives you a sense on how the actual fit is. And that is the purpose of a video. Like seeing slideshow images doesn't make sense at all, which is really common on Etsy. But giving the customer a sense on how the fit is really important. And as an example, I purchased a bag on Amazon for my girlfriend, like 2 years ago. And then when I saw a video on like a person actually carrying the bag, I got a sense on how big it is. And like seeing how big a bag actually is, it's kind of hard to see with just images. But seeing it on a person that is like, I don't know, 165 centimeters gives me a sense on how big the actual big the actual bag is. So a lot of those, the way that he thinks.
So, but based on what you just said specifically, does this mean this would have to be a real life video for people to see the real product, right? Like
but you can still automate with Placeit.
Yeah, but so you're saying using a mock-up video?
I'm saying like on Placeit as an example, you have these video mockups where you can just put the design on people, and then they have this shirt that they wear, and then that they move around in. But you can
I've seen them. So I'm wondering, like, does that represent what it really looks like? Like, will a customer look at that video and then what they get in real life is the same thing, even if it was a mock-up?
Yep. As long as you, as the seller, are as long as you know the product. Like for instance, the Bella 3001 is commonly quite a thin shirt, so it's kind of some people feel that it's almost see-through. Apart from that, it's quite snug. So like some people that are a bit bigger, or like a bit more curvy, they might feel that it's a bit too snug. So if you display it on a person where it's actually like a small, like a quite thin person, it's quite snug, and you know that from the get, then it makes then you can still display that within the placed mockup, as long as you know that from the get. Like you can take a comfort color shirt and represent it as a Bella shirt, because those are completely different.
So the place it has that specific model, right? So you can't replace this with AI video. So AI video is not going to give you an accurate representation ever.
No,
right?
or I think there will be deviations, and those deviations might be too big, like might be just way too big, unless you actually know what you're doing. So I think it's just better to either like use a video size chart, like there are video size charts on Etsy that you can just buy and use for every single mockup or every single listing, or you just use place it. But I don't think using AI mockups is not that I'm a big fan
so
of.
that is a problem, because I don't do a lot I do posters on Etsy, so it's easier for me. But I see people showing like, hey, look, you can just do AI mockups and that's it, you're ready to go on Etsy. But that's still not an accurate representation of the shirt if it's AI. So that's not really a solution then. AI mockup.
And when it comes to the mockups themselves, so like most of my students have and me myself have between a 5 to 6% conversion rate, which I know is not typical on Etsy. But the reason for that, one of the main reasons for that, are because of the actual mockups used. Like you have to be so thorough about which mockups you actually choose. Like I usually, like when I choose my mockups, if I choose them from scratch, I spend a day just finding the mockups to use within the listings. And how to find those it's kind of an easy process. Like if you see that if you find 3 different best-selling listings from 3 different shops in 3 wildly different niches, but they all use the same mockup, that gives you a good indication that specific mockup is working really well. And it has to be the thumbnail itself. You need to find 8 to 9 of these and use all of those specifically within your listings. But that has to be like it's a quite a minute process. You can use an agent for this if you know how to program it. You have to be that thorough for the mockups, because that is what determines if you actually have a good conversion rate or not. Mainly the mockups used, and all of them have to be proven. But if you do it like that, it's so easy to just bump up the conversion rate.
So is there a Nano Banana for videos? Like you can take a real life mock-up that you could take a picture with a Bella or whatever, and now with Nano Banana, it's going to always look the same, and you could just change the design on there. Do we have that for video? Like, can you take someone wearing a Bella on a video, and then you could just change the design on it without messing up?
You can do that on Placeit, but the problem with Placeit, again, have you ever used Placeit before?
Yeah, I've used it a lot, but not anymore. So
for video mockups, the worst thing about it is that it takes such a long time to because you have to it has to render it, and then you have to download it, and it's just such a minute process that takes like 5 minutes per listing. And if you do this in bulk, it takes a long time.
I doubt that there's a video one that can do the things Nano Banana can, right? Because usually image is quite a bit ahead of the quality of video.
Yeah,
I would say.
But it's probably coming in a year or so, right? I would imagine.
Probably. Anyway, let's move on to some more questions, because there is a ton. So we'll try and get through a few more of these, and then we'll wrap it up, because we're coming up to 2 hours. But next one is from Van Regan. What's up with Amazon merch not tiering people up for ages? I'm stuck in hell of tier 10 with 217 sales, sold 15 out of 20 designs in my 10 sales slots by rotation everywhere except Japan. Still no tier up. So first of all, I have heard of people getting tiered up still, so it's not that they're not tiering up anyone. But yeah, I mean, with your stats, I have no idea why you're not tiered up yet. That's ridiculous. Do you have any thoughts on that, Jose? Because I know you think about this stuff.
100%. If they're not tearing up, they're not ready to. They're still working on other things behind the scenes. And I'm not saying I know everything, but this comes from 8 years of being analytical. Amazon, they're always working on something. This program is always working on something. A few people got tiered up. This is my theory, is that Amazon, remember, they're making money off the ads, and that's their focus. So the Merch by Amazon program is a way to get us to pay for ads. It's just an extra source of income for them. So they 100% have to and will get back to the normal tier up system. When that happens, we don't know, right? They're always going to throw us a bone. Like if you look at the coffee mug thing, hey, we got coffee mugs. No, we don't. Right. But they're like, hey, look, we're doing something for you to keep people wanting to come in. Amazon needs us to want to come in. So at some point, they have no choice but to start tearing up people like crazy. The minute people start getting tired of waiting, Amazon's going to be like, now's the time, just to keep you from leaving, right? They need us.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of strange, because if ads is a massive driver for them of revenue or profit, they're making less people, or more people are going to stop using ads as much because of them doing all the Prime deals, right? That's cutting into people's profits, so people are going to slow down their budgets. So for Amazon, one way to solve that is to tier more people up, to give them access to ads. So why are they stopping tier ups, and they're making it harder to use ads at the same time? Like, to them, it logically makes no sense.
But overall,
maximize profit. So
don't you think that is like, because I've always just had the feeling that where they're now is that they're reinventing a lot of stuff. They're taking the portfolio that they have with all their sellers, and I think they're like finding a way to use personalized designs. I just feel that as a company, they've always been inventive. Again, don't forget that they act like Amazon themselves invented reviews on products. That's what they did. It's easy to forget, but they were the ones that actually invented having reviews on products. It wasn't invented before them. And I think they're just in that phase now with Merch by Amazon, where they're trying to probably like, because I think you, Philip, found like a job posting, right, where they were wanting to find someone who could find a way to implement personalization with this, right? Yeah.
I didn't find that, by the way. It was someone in my group.
Yeah, but
on YouTube, yeah.
So they're probably in the phase where they're just trying to reinvent a lot of things, and I think that's their primary focus. And then once they've like figured a lot of stuff out, they probably like bump people up. Because again, I hear the pain with being like not being tiered up. I mean, like I'm tier 4,000 with almost 17,000 sales and almost like 100K in royalties total. It's in total, and I have 83.5% live designs, and I also have like, what is it, a 36.5% live designs with sales. So all stats are quite good. I also have a previous student who's like tier 10, but he has like 500 sales now, I think. I also think he's in the merch mastermind now. But either way, I just think they're just in a period where they're just reinventing stuff. And then once that's through, they probably fix that stuff. It's just probably not at the top priority, right?
Yeah. Well, everything's in sequence. Amazon is a data company, 100%. So everything they do, I know people say, "Oh, Amazon's so stupid." Amazon is the most intelligent company on the planet, all right? And everything they do, they're testing it for the bigger picture. We can't even dream of thinking the way they think and using the data they use. So right now, they're testing something for whatever reason, we'll never know. But I promise you, the minute you're ready to quit, the minute you're ready to throw it all away, tier ups are coming. Because that's what they as long as they keep people in, they got data. People aren't stopping going to Merch by Amazon and signing up. The minute people stop doing that, they'll do tier ups for sure. But trust, it's in the plans because it has to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. When? Nobody knows. But the minute they probably listen to everything we say, oh, people are mad at Amazon, Amazon throws a bone, right? Oh, you get all these products. Oh, can't quit now, right? And they're going to keep doing that. And the tier ups will come. And when they come, it's going to come in a big drive. You're going to see.
I've always just felt that it's that old saying where like the turtle always wins the race, but the turtle is never like the one that's flashy. That's the bunny in that whole theme. The turtle is just there. It's just doing its thing one step at a time. It's not flashy, but once it hits like the goal, it hits the goal big time. So that's Amazon to me.
The one thing to consider is, obviously it doesn't really help if you've been waiting for a year to get tiered up, but the good thing about it is if you just been tiered up with the old system and been in like tier 500 by now, you'd be way more in the mentality that like the old guys are in, like me, like Jose, where it's just like throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks. You right now in your situation in tier 10, having 217 sales, 15 out of 20 designs sold, you've already turned into like a sniper. Like you you're very accurate with getting designs to sell. Once you do get tiered up, once tier ups come back, you're gonna have the time of your life. You will need to get to tier 20,000 to make a decent income. So although it's really frustrating, and I wish it wasn't this way, the people that are stuck in lower tiers, they'll be teaching themselves to be way better sellers, which before just
100%.
wasn't the case.
Yeah.
The game they're playing, like when you're in tier 10 and you're struggling with this, it's like, you know, when people do exercise with like ankle weights on, right, or on the wrist, and then once you take it off, you feel like you're flying.
Yeah.
Right. So once everybody who's in tier 10 and everything you're dealing with, Amazon, maybe, I don't know, maybe Amazon's doing on purpose, like we're gonna make monsters out of you. And you're gonna know how to deal with not having a lot of room. And if you can be good at that, imagine what happens when you get to 500, when you get to 1,000, you're gonna be a monster because you're not gonna throw stuff up just because. And maybe, you know, it could be a plus for Amazon is priming you to do that. But I do think, you know, the best thing you could do now is make it so that every upload sells. You know, if I was in tier 10, I'd probably be going into Facebook groups and selling it before I even make the shirt, right? You talk to people, hey, what do you want? Oh, I can make that for you. And then before you, that's a whole nother concept is you sell before creating the shirt, right? You can go into any group and say, I make t-shirts, be so honest. Listen, I make t-shirts. I want to make shirts people actually care about. I want it to emotionally mean something to you. Can you please help me? You go to an axolotl group and people who love axolotls and you want to beat everyone on Amazon, go make friends with them. Say, listen, don't try to sell them nothing. Never at no point do you say, I want to sell something. Don't use the word sale. Get it out of your vocabulary. Say, I make t-shirts and I want to make something that you guys would love. Help me, please. What have you seen? Here's some top selling shirts on Amazon. These are not mine, but I want to know how it could even be better than them. People will flock to you to tell you. Like, this is a little secret. I'm going to make a video about it. Like, I love French Bulldogs. I do designs that I go into specific groups. They upload the ChatGPT stuff, and I just put it on a shirt. Like, they're the ones giving me the idea, right? So if you were to make friends with people and be like, yo, I do t-shirts. I've done this before. I on Facebook. Hey, I got these 2 shirts I made. Which one do you guys think is better? That's it. The first comment, where can I buy it? Right?
Yeah.
You
I think
never sell.
That's the key to that strategy, is doing it in a way that's not salesy.
Yeah.
I think that's what most people would struggle with. So if you made a video explaining that,
I think I should now because I've done it. And all you got to remember is literally in your mind, you say, these people will never be my customer. They're going to be my friends. That's how you got to approach it. And then you get information from them. And as you're building, oh, is this what you want? Is this what you want? Oh, you want to say, okay, it's no question about it. 100% of the time, they're going to say, I want to buy it now. Every time. They're not going to look at you building what they like and not want to buy it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're in tier 10, I think the best thing you could do, just as an experiment, make it so every single upload sells. And not just one time, not someone bought it, right? You made it for a group of people and maybe more than one. And imagine if every upload you had, all of them sell. If that don't work, then Amazon's playing real games. I mean, but that's, you know, it's practicing like that. And then you get out of tier 10, this going to be your world, because most people like me came up with do whatever you can upload.
Yeah.
You know,
And don't
you're going to be
don't forget that if it's slow, like I told this again to one of my students too, the Amazon game is a long-term game. You have to wait so much because you're playing on their terms, because you can't just upload your stuff like you can do on Etsy. So if it's like that, focus on Etsy for the time being, and once they have figured their stuff out, do Amazon too. But Etsy is a great way to make an income nowadays. And then you can also, like, once they figure their stuff out, you can always refocus on Amazon.
Yeah. And Etsy doesn't limit you. Like, you could get on Etsy today and get up there if you wanted to. You know, I think it's a higher cost, but that's the thing about the Amazon tier system. I wouldn't be stuck on Amazon if I was on tier 10 at all. You know, there's so much time you're doing. You're learning how to sell t-shirts. You're a beast. If you're in tier 10 and you got 500 sales, you're a beast already. Take that talent and go make some money in other places. You got a talent of making shirts people want to buy. Don't just think of Amazon if you're in tier 10, man. You wasting a lot of time. Those talents you have, selling is selling, no matter where you go. It's a talent. You know what I mean? So if you're getting good at selling, use your talents everywhere else you go. I mean, maybe try Shopify. I don't know. I'm thankful I got Amazon, but yeah, if I know how to sell, selling is something that is a life, you know, skill. You could use it in real life. You could take people you know. When I first started Amazon, I sold stuff to people I know on the street. Yo, I sold on Amazon. Blah, blah, you know, this guy did a brand. He ended up getting me to tier 500. because he would just do samples for his shirts. Like, yo, you want to start a t-shirt brand? I can put it on Amazon for you. You know, and he just catapulted me. And he was just buying samples. I was putting the lowest price, and he would just buy hundreds of his own shirts to test them. Like, there's so many ways you can make sales through just your personal life. Now, I know if you're not in the US, that is more difficult, but if you're in a place where they sell, like France, Italy, Spain, you definitely can do it there. But that's another cheat code. But if not, I think, you know, Facebook groups, plenty, Reddit groups, just stop. Don't be a seller, be a t-shirt designer, and you'll get it.
Yeah, I think a video on that would be awesome, and very helpful to people. Right, next up, Nancy is asking, on Ella Marina, how do you know what the output is? Sorry, probably obvious to everyone else. Depends on what you mean by output. I think, for example,
pixels.
Yeah, it's a pixel image, right, that you download. Is it JPEGs or PNGs? If you're in the battle mode, you don't know which tool is outputting the result. If you mean that, change to side by side or to direct chat, and then you can choose the image model.
I assume they're all 1,000 pixels.
Yeah,
That's how I assume they're all somewhere around 1,000 by 1,000. If it's not a square, somewhere close to that. From my experience, that's what they all generate at, somewhere around 1,000 pixels. And PNG, my bad.
Yeah.
That's what you use.
Marshall Yu is asking, are you guys seeing sales throttling with merch? Also, much less royalties due to Amazon discounts. In terms of sales numbers, I'm having a fantastic time at the moment. So everyone's going to have a different experience. You'll always have some people that saying their sales have dropped and they feel throttled, and then you'll have a different crowd saying their sales have gone up recently. That's just
Well, that's how throttling would work, though. Like I'm a you know, I can't prove this, but I'm a believer that throttling is the only way that we all make sales, right? If there's every single day, Amazon probably has an extra million T-shirts for all we know by the day. If you look at Amazon's catalog, it would be impossible for all of us to make sales if they didn't throttle. That's just my opinion. I don't have any factual information on this, but just common sense to me tells me they have to throttle. Like, okay, like everyone believes the money. Like, okay, you're used to making 3,000, you made your 3,000. Now we're gonna get other people's sales. Like, it makes sense to me that they would do that. And for years and years, I've seen times where like my whole morning I'm making 1 million sales. 2 p.m. nothing. Like, come on. Like, just everyone who buys my listings just happen to only buy in the morning. You know what I mean? So
I think there's multiple things to it. There's this. I've definitely noticed that there's periods where your sales get reported. So you know the chings you get from Pretty Merch. It's like sometimes I'll buy my own shirt as like a test print, but the cha-ching doesn't come through until an hour later. So you know, if you have consistent sales throughout the day, you probably know this, that there's sometimes an hour or two where just nothing happens, and then suddenly it's like cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. I think it's just because there's like delays in the way it's reported through the dashboard, so that could play into it. I don't think that anyone is throttled in the sense of like, hey, let's cap this account at 20 sales a day and it can't go past that. I think that's something where maybe your strategy, you keep doing the same thing and it's not really working for you and you don't get past it, and it can feel like a throttle. But one thing to try out is just drop all your prices, especially like what we said earlier, especially old listings that haven't sold or that have stopped selling, and you'll quickly notice probably a change at least in the amount of product selling.
Yeah, and I also just wanted to add to that too, and just say that like some like I price my stuff very high, so I price my stuff at like $7 royalties for most products, and then but like my royalties now generally are like a lot higher than it was last year, because I make over 1,000 sales a month now, starting when they started doing these sales, but I'm making around 4 to 5K in royalties. With like what's the ad cost of that? Usually have a 15 to 16% a cost on that. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I usually make somewhere, I think it's usually like 2,500, somewhere around there, to 3K in profit every single month. And I really just had a major uploads streak at the beginning of the year when I tried a lot of AI designs, and that's when I really hit the AI bug, and that came into me at the beginning of the year. Yeah, So I don't think anyone, at least I don't believe anyone's throttled. In my own like perception, I've always felt that if I have that kind of
Someone's
like
got sirens. We've got sirens.
My bad.
They're just quite loud.
My bad.
in my
My
own,
bad. My bad.
That's fine.
no worries. In my own experience, I've always felt that if I tell myself that, it's always been some kind of way to escape or like redirect me from where the actual issue is. That's been my experience with it. The POD police.
They're coming for all the copycats.
My goodness. They
Um,
come there with their anchovies and like
but-
sardine shirts, ready to go.
Okay, I think I'm good now, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is why I love doing these live streams as well and podcasts, because it, again, what Andreas just said shows it's like this different approaches. They can all work. He's pricing really high, clearly, and it's working for him. Jose's doing the opposite. He's not using ads, and it's working for him. The thing is, you have to find a strategy that works well for you. No one can tell you without knowing you and your catalog what will actually work. We can all just share what's worked for us. Righty, still so many questions. What are the biggest gaming niches for Q4?
Gaming
I don't
niches.
really
Those
know
are like
what you mean
close
by
to
gaming niches.
close to trademark and copyright though, so be careful with those.
I mean, gaming is an evergreen thing, right? With sub niches in it.
True.
But-
Yeah,
I
gaming
mean,
with anything that sells.
but you know those like dashers like level 2 have like leveled up, and someone is using the actual like PlayStation controller or like the Xbox controller or
Yeah.
like the Nintendo controller. Those like if you use the exact controller that someone like a company actually designed, that's obviously like copyright infringements, unless you're using a controller that is not tied to any brand. It just
Yeah, I know the triangle, circle, the PlayStation one. That's 100% trademark.
yeah.
You know, and it could. What happened to that car? The I'm not old. I'm classic. You know.
Yeah, what happened to
It
that?
took
What happened?
years. It took years, but they finally got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I mean-
what kind of car was that? It was a certain kind of car.
Yeah, I mean, like those specific type of designs. Like a good friend of mine, haven't spoke to her in a while, but Simply Shauna, she also has a really good YouTube channel. I mean, like one of the earliest things that she did, like that she talks a lot about, is
I'm doing it,
I mean,
man.
if Jose is being arrested for being a nerd, we come
We're
all of us.
all under arrest. All of us.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah. No, but what's trying to say, like, so like what Shauna did, what she didn't realize was that Jeep, she did a lot of a lot of Jeep shirts, and Jeep has a specific type of design when they with their cars, just like that probably muscular car that is within the I'm Not Too Old, I'm Classic, and that is a specific thing that someone has designed that is copyrighted to a specific company, and if you take that, you're infringing on copyright. So
Yeah. The body, right? They trademark the body shape on some cars.
yeah, it's the same thing with Jeeps. Like if you use that specific outline that is tied to a Jeep
Mhm.
car, you're technically infringing on copyright, just like with that muscular car.
Yeah.
Well, to answer the question, what are the biggest gaming niches? I mean, there are some sub niches in terms of types of gaming, like I don't know, PC gaming, console gaming, virtual reality. Maybe look at what like newest gaming technologies. There's stuff like sim racing. I don't know, but video games, like you can target actual video games. Look at new styles that have become popular this year and apply them to the gaming niche. That's something I would do.
Well, everything. Like, look what Sensor Shop wrote. I paused my game to be here in Puerto Rico. I'm in the Puerto Rico niche. That's a great idea. Like, you can literally cross the gaming niche. Anyone who plays games also goes and travels to Mexico. Anyone who plays games loves to drink tequila. Anyone who plays games loves to, you know, a million things. They love a French bulldog. So just take the top sellers that doesn't have a gaming version of it.
Very universal hobby, isn't it? That you could cross.
Yeah, FKAWF. I'm gaming, right? Boom. That's going to work.
And one thing though is that I seen like in the dad niche just this morning was like that the pixelated kind of vibe to a line art design worked really well. You can apply that within the gaming niche, and because the relevance is so high, like that type of style would probably work really well within the gaming niche, just because it's pixelated and is really gaming-esque. But I also want to say, like, just doing this call when it comes to the throttle stuff, I received one order for 22 shirts on Amazon on this specific call. So I don't think like yeah, I don't think it's throttling. I don't believe in that stuff usually myself.
Yeah.
I got 42 the other day in one order.
Oh,
Nuts.
damn.
And again, it was just repricing an old shirt that never sold.
Nice.
It's been a great month for me because of Bad Bunny concert. I'm Puerto Rican, so I do all the Puerto Rico stuff. And this guy in Puerto Rico just had like a historic concert, and I just had like probably one of the best months of the year just off of a concert. You know what I mean?
That's
So
going to sound like you're copying him.
Hmm?
Probably
No,
to
it's Puerto
clarify
Rico.
that.
He's a Puerto Rican and he's famous, right? So people have he's Puerto Rican pride. So any design with a flag right now, everyone who's going to the concert, you can't go without a Puerto Rico shirt, right? Not his shirts, not his mark, not his
No,
brand.
I get it. I get it. Of course, because I'm selling Puerto Rico as well. But people are going to hear that and what, are you copying his brand? Like Taylor Swift is selling shirts on Amazon, right?
It's good that you highlighted it, because it's good that you highlighted it, because that's not what Jose is doing. Because you have the I think I saw in your video too. You have the Puerto Rico flag, right? That's what you have in a specific type of way.
1,000 ways.
Yeah.
1,000 ways. It's my niche. Like I tell people, I could make a best-selling design right now if I want to. Like when you know a niche that well, it's just that's the beautiful part. Like if merch stops working, I always got my niche. It's never gonna fail me. I got this like designs right now that it's so weird that I don't make them. Right. As everything happened, I'm like, oh, I gotta make this, make that, make that. That would probably make more money than all the other niches. But something about it, because I do it so much, I don't know why I don't focus on only Puerto Rico. I probably should. You know what I mean? But it's just something, I guess it's more fun to do more things. But yeah, Puerto Rico niches is something that a lot of people don't realize is, it's been my bread and butter. If I didn't know Puerto Rico niche, I don't think I would be as successful in merch. So that's another thing I should probably say more often. It's because I know it so well. And then, French Bulldog, I had a French Bulldog that I own, and I made t-shirts left and right that nobody else made to sell because of my experience with my French Bulldog. And I just, I think people need to think about that more. I got something that I sold in the axolotl niche because I got it from a person who does axolotls. You know what I mean? And I go to the source. Going to the source of any niche is going to always give you something that nobody else knows about, right?
Yeah.
That's there's always, like, I don't care how crowded you think a niche is. I promise you, there's at least 100 more ideas that will be top sellers in that niche if someone were to bring it to the table. So that's another thing people should try to do.
And what my analytical mind is telling me here is that what you actually put in that niche is highly relevant to the niche just because you know the niche really well. And I think that's the missing piece that a lot of people do, like, because you have to have stuff that hasn't been implemented in niches before, but they also have to be like the elements that you actually use in your design have to be like really relevant for the niche itself. And I think if you know the niche just like you do within the Puerto Rico niche, it's so easy to make relevant decisions that works within the niche.
Yeah, and especially, and one mistake, just to play on this real quick, a big mistake people make with AI is not checking the elements to make sure they're accurate. One of the biggest loser of sales is you got this amazing design and there's something in it that looks nothing like it does in real life. When people got a shirt with a lot of elements, they're looking at that. That's the fun part. Look, it got this, it got that. They're pointing at the shirt and excited about the things that are on it. So if you're using AI, you're wasting so much time because you don't even realize, like a lot of people do Puerto Rico designs, they don't know the flag is off. And it'll be a cool idea. And if you don't sell that, thank you. I'm going to take it from you and make the flag right and take your sales. So if you're going to come up with a good idea, make sure the elements look right. Do a little bit of research because your people are wondering why stuff doesn't sell sometimes. But my bad, I digress.
Some of the first niches I started selling in back when I started on Amazon were niches that were essentially just interests of family members and friends. It's just like ask them or speak to them or be engaged in what they're interested in, and you can figure out a lot of stuff that doesn't exist on Amazon yet. Like going back to the point of like, don't just look on Amazon and copy what's there. Figure out a unique way to appeal to the people that actually buy the shirts. There's another quick one right here off topic that I think we should answer. Would you join the content of immense curiosity? Tell me where your accent is from.
Well, I'm originally from New Jersey, but I spent a lot of time in New York. So between those two things, New York City and New Jersey right next to it. So that's most of it. Yeah. I mean, I've lived everywhere, all kinds of places. East Coast, really. East Coast, USA, you could say.
Very distinct accent, for sure.
Yeah. I appreciate you.
Wait, there was something else I wanted to quickly do. All right. do this final question. I think this one's quite interesting. From Troy, how do you guys handle keywords, titles, and descriptions in bulk?
My designs.
Flying upload.
What's your take on this, Philip?
I just do it with flying upload. I usually don't use their AI because there's a difference between mine and Jose's method. Jose's talking about using the AI that's built into flying upload. I usually batch things in within a niche and make one listing, optimize one listing, copy it across to the others, and then just adjust the title. Or you can use your file name as the title and brand name. That's another method. The flying upload AI is good, but it's been having some bugs for me. So
Yeah, it can be buggy. Like if you're talking about bulk, Troy, if you really do things in bulk, then I think you should 100% at least try the flying upload. And just to let you know, I don't get paid for saying this. Like I have no affiliation with them, and I truly believe that I couldn't survive without it. Right. And when it comes to the keywords, if you do everything in a similar niche, you could give keywords to the AI. Right. So you can still make sure you got your own keywords, put it on the there for all the listings, and it'll incorporate that keyword in different ways for each title, each brand. So you get fresh, listings with the keywords you want to be in there. And it can be slightly pricey, but it's 100% worth it. Like if I lost flying upload today, I would cry. I cannot survive without it. And I spoke to another guy who was in the 200,000 tier. When he saw what I did, he said, "Thank you. Like this really helps." You know what I mean? And it's true. If you're doing things in bulk, I strongly recommend using your own keywords with AI Vision listing. It'll look at the T-shirt and look at your keywords, and it'll make all the listings in bulk for you. And I personally use auto translate because it costs a lot more money if you want to do it in each language. So I personally just use auto translate and just do it in English. And then all my credits, I do about 500 at a time, which is the limit on flying upload. And I set up my uploads for the week that way, right? So I get about at 5,000 uploads a day. That's about 70 designs a day. So that's about 4,900 designs. So I will 490. Yeah. So I do all my on a Sunday, I'll get all my uploads for the week. And then I get all those zip files, and every day in the morning I put it to upload. And that way every single day I'm uploading. And you could get a VA to do it also.
Moraine is asking why flying upload can make a listing as well. It's just a personal preference thing. Like I've always done it without AI. I find it quicker because I don't have to upload designs and wait for them to upload, then wait for the AI to make the listing and then download, and then check if there's any mistakes with the AI. So I find it quicker to sometimes just do things in batch so I can reuse the same listing or just reuse the file name and do it within the local app. But yeah, so it's our personal preference.
And if anybody's using a VA, that's where flying upload shines as well, because they can make the zip file. They don't have to touch your account, so they can make everything for you, and then just give you the zip file where you upload it in your own home. So there's no risk. And if you're VA based and you use VAs, flying upload is so good.
Why have I never thought about that?
Yeah, I'm about to start doing it right now. I said, yo, wait a minute. I could tell with VA how to do this, and I still pick the designs, right? So I get a Dropbox account. I get all my designs. I don't want my VA choosing my designs, but the hard work comes in preparing them and getting the upload ready. So I just make a Dropbox. The VA has the Dropbox, and I just throw the designs that I want in there. Throw them all in there, and they go to town. They go to work. Yo, here's your zip files.
Yeah, that's a perfect idea. Do you use a lot of keywords or less to avoid rejections? Yeah, if I want to avoid rejections, I use less. But oftentimes, if I do fill out the bullets, a lot of the keywords repeat, or you're just using the most basic primary keywords of the niche with a sentence structure that doesn't get rejected. But yeah, if you want to avoid the risk of rejections, just lower the amount of keywords. Just do title and brand name. It can get a lot of sales as well. You don't have to fill out 50,000 words.
What I have been doing for a long time is using the same descriptions, like the same bullet points for a lot of things. So I work on getting one filled up keyword that I know doesn't get rejections, and then I'll just reuse that. So it's hard to do to get to fill everything up. But once you do it, you can reuse it over and over.
Alrighty. I know there's still a bunch of questions we haven't gone through, but we could probably carry on all day and keep answering questions. So we've got to eat.
If anybody wants their questions answered, email me on the YouTube. I will answer all of them. I got time. Yeah. I'm a nerd. I'm a super nerd.
What's your email?
Was podhardknocks@gmail.com. But I love answering emails. Anybody ever, you know what I mean? Like I still have a smaller channel, so I have more time than these big guys. And
I don't like emails. I answer a lot of people on Discord.
But I do a lot of email conversations. You know what I'm saying? But
I found the email. There you go. I'll put it in the chat. Nice. There we go. Nice. Right, this is really fun. I think I think it'd be awesome to have you on again in the future, Jose, if you want to come on again. Hopefully by then you can demo your tool.
Yeah, by then I'll definitely have something ready for people to use.
He has already demoed it in Merge Mastermind, but it's just not publicly available. I think that's quite tough to get it into actual like downloadable formats.
Yeah, right? and we're working on getting the Mac version, which hopefully today. I shouldn't say that, but once we get the Mac version, we're going to really move things around. So it's coming up.
Awesome. Someone just joined your channel. Perfect. Yeah, everyone go subscribe to Jose and to Andreas. Very underrated YouTubers. And we'll see you in the next live stream in October in Q4.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Peace out.